Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the evening. Welcome back to the Platinum StarCraft 2 League June 2025 edition. Welcome back to your monthly dose of Platinum StarCraft League. Here we go. I'm of course your side VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Who and Chats and by plushies as well. Welcome one and all to some more StarCraft here tonight. Again, this is the June edition of the Platinum StarCraft League here in July, of course. For those that are curious, this is a monthly tournament. A big shout out to Platinum Esports and to the Platinum Heroes for hosting, for organizing this event, and for reaching out and for allowing us to be a part of the broadcast as well. I do know that in months past, we have had Rotterdam or Dave Tessa or some other community casters take part in the event and actually broadcast this to you live. So a big shout out to all those behind the initiative of the tournament. And also, welcome one and all. There's a lot to get into for now, though. First things first, we have our first series. We have our first matchup. And this morning, in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Italian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Ducklings. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the pink Polish Protoss. It is Art. Also for the Platinum Heroes, here we go. The PvPs are upon us. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves as the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we are jumping into the round of 16. Of course, we have plenty more matches ahead of us, and we'll be delving into those matches momentarily. We'll get there, of course. We'll get over the brackets. Meanwhile, if you want to support the tournament even further, there are other commands, of course, as well. Exclamation mark, Matcherino. As unlike for our events, these tournaments do actually have some codes available. So, if you head on over to the Matcherino page, there are some free codes you can claim to help boost the prize pool even further and support the event. So again, a big shout out to those working behind the scenes on the Platinum StarCraft League. Oh, as we do dip in, so we do come in for the scouts. First things first, 2 get opener out of Athletics, 2 get opener out of Art as well. So far, so good. Nothing crazy. Second pylon in the main base of Art, and likewise second pylon in the main base of Athletics as well. Second pylons all around. There's no proxy, there are no shenanigans. Both players do confirm, and you can see both players getting in position to block and deny the expansion, and to make sure that everything is on the up and up. As our probes are in position, we have a Stalker Sentry opener out of Vars, likewise Stalker Sentry out of Lilix as well. Standard play all around, non-stop standard opener here. Okay, I'm a little bit in shock, and a nice change of pace. Again, if you were here earlier, we just wrapped up the Sparkling Tuna Cup, which was also plagued with a plethora of PvPs, but it was non-stop aggression out of our players. Here, we're calming down. We got the aggression out of our system, now we're just calming things down, we're slowly building up, getting to a more standard PvP. Both players do expand, no proxies, no shenanigans. We have a Stalker Sentry based opener, which is very much so scouting based, very standard, just to get eyes across the map. Hallucinations are moving out for both players on both sides, just to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. So just really safe standard play out of both Lilix and Art, at least so far. We have our first big point of deviation. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Vars, likewise Robo-based opener out of Ledlix as well, so both players taking in different directions, both players taking a different approach. Now going for a Twilight Council, this should be a Blink-based opener. Should be working towards Blink to gain map control and to get into the mid-game and to secure Maganatha. Meanwhile, across the map, going for a Robo opener is a lot more of a safer approach, a lot more of a defensive approach, I should say. Now, this does allow you to open up with a War Prison to harass across the map with the depths, but more importantly, it gives you access to early Immortal production. So on the one hand, you'll have less Stalkers, you'll have a less mobile army, but you'll have a more robust and defensive army instead with those Immortals. Likewise, Forge on the way for +1. It does feel like Lelix is taking a much more defensive stance here, as Art will be gaining map control. Blink is on the way. Blink is on the way. There are some niche builds where you can rush into earlier charge or rush into glaze of all things. I mean, hey, we saw that out of Jumy or out of Jumy earlier today. That's not the case here, though. Again, just working towards Blink. We can see Art being active, does get eyes on 2 adepts on the left-hand side, and will attempt to intercept. Does attempt to and does. Yeah, it does catch out the adepts. There we go. Nice forest field. Nice volley. One adept does go down, and the other barely does escape. But again, 2 adepts can one-shot workers. 1 adept cannot, and is fully hunted down. Nice force field once again. Nice positional play here out of Art. Art shuts down the Adepts, third base is being taken. There's your early Immortal production that we did speak on, and again, Immortals, they will continue to build up for Lelix. As we mentioned, Lelix is taking a much more defensive stance. He will be taking his own third base, but he's going to be stuck at home for the near future. This eventually will lead into either charge into the mid game, or it can also lead into something more aggressive with Twilight Council into Glaives. We'll get there eventually. For now, Art is being active. Blink is done in 10 seconds. We don't really expect Art to break the expansion or to break this third base, but what he can do is poke in, get a sentry, get a stalker, and then blink back. As he does break forward. Oh, gets a probe. Again, any unit counts. Likewise, he can even bypass the main army. There we go. Hallucination will gain high ground vision, and it can blink directly into the main. Ooh, and the Elixir supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block. The army is in position here at the third base. He is not ready in the main. And we're getting ready for the blink. Does dive in. Going for the pylon. Going for the probes. Now with that, he can one-shot workers. Workers going to be going down. Bearing in mind, he can always recall back home. The army does try to respond. He's racing back into his main base. Probes are going down. So far, 4. Ooh, almost 5 probe kills. And there's the recall, and Art, he will lose 1 Stalker in the process. Almost 2, just 1. 1 Stalker for 4 workers. Not a bad trade here for Art. And again, this is what kind of we're hoping for here. Just speaking of workers, speaking of some key units, behind this we have Charge on the way, +1, working towards the Temple Archives, working towards Archon production. So Artie's building up in towards that mid-game. And so is Lelix. Lelix also working towards Charge. As we mentioned, he had 2 options, either to stay on a lower worker count and go into Glaives, or get into a higher worker count, get into Charge, and also get into Archons as well. Now, as I'm building up into that mid-game, I do favor Lelix's overall army composition. These Immortals, they do add quite a punch here to the army. They're going to be the backbone here of the force of Lelix, and they can excel, they can do well. That's where Charge comes into play. That's my big concern, actually. We have a big gateway explosion, 4th base is being taken, we're staying on a lower gas count, Prism is on the way, and soon Artie's going to push. How many gateways is he on exactly? 7. So we have 7, soon to be 8 gateways, so 3 bases, 8 gates set up here. Out of Art, he's going to be pushing, he's going to have a massive amount of zealots to reinforce, and Charge is not yet done for Lelix. He's a little bit more behind here when it comes to that upgrade of choice, when it comes to that tech. Now, Zealots, they can excel against Blink Stalkers and Immortals, of course. They do a great job at tanking and dealing damage. How do you counter a mass charge load in this matchup? Well, typically Archons. That's why we already have an Archon for Art. That's why we have a Temple Archives on the way. But remember, this is still seconds late, and every second counts. And here we go. Here come the Mass Zealots. Without any Archons, without that setup here, Lelix he cannot engage. And the base is going to go down. Massive pickup, 4th base does full. Prism is denied into the main. And honestly, Art, he can just keep going. He can just keep on pushing. He can overwhelm the army. I mean, Lelix is not ready for this. But Art, he's a little bit more tentative here. I do think that Art could potentially end the game. He can just push in, he can take the fight, he can break this army. But you can see Art just backing off, being careful, rotating around. Art not taking any risks, not taking any chances. Does find a Zealot run by. We'll clean that up first. Now rotates towards the would-be 3rd. Well, the 3rd, the natural. At the same time, Adepts, 2 Adepts even, they do get into the middle line. Probe's going to be going down. That's a lot of economic damage. 9 probe kills across the map. And Art's where we headed. I still do favor his position, but now there's 1 Archon to defend. That's better than previously. He's breaking through the force field, Zel's being forward. Boys are being pulled into Archons. Ay. And the boys are going to go down. The Immortals are being overwhelmed as well. Force fields are being broken, and Art, he doesn't. He will break the 3rd. I was a little bit concerned that he was going to be too passive, and he was being very careful, but still good. He still has that killer instinct. GG gets called, and Art, he will break the 3rd, he will break the 4th, and Art will take the 1st game. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A solid game 1 here out of Art. And again, unfortunately, Lelix, he was just 1 step behind in regards to his tech, in regards to his setup. He did have a similarly timed 3rd base, similarly timed 4th base as well, but he just wasn't ready for that charge timing, wasn't ready for that army. GG. GG, well played. And Art, he will claim a lead in the series, but remember, it's a best of 3. Best of 3, we got more games ahead of us, and we'll see if Lelix can recover and bounce back and force the ace match. Let's go. let us go, as game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Oh, okay. So really large maps. Game 1 was on Magnatha. You don't really get much larger than that. Here we're going to be loading into Tokamak, another large map, a little bit more of a defensive one, and we'll see if this leads into another similar game state, or if either player takes the opportunity to go for a proxy. Again, there are a lot of really common proxy locations on Tokamak just because of how large it is, but we'll see if we do commit to something more aggressive this time. So we are loading in. Here we go. Go shout out to those in chat. Oh, and I should also make sure that we are. Okay, we're good. Just make sure we're connected to TL. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we do have our Italian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss down in the series. We'll see if he bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Ducklings. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the pink Polish Protoss player, also representing the Platinum Heroes. It's a lot of P, that's a lot of alliteration. It is Art. Leading the series 1-0. Here we go. And our PvP does continue, and our eyes are on the early workers. Lelix does move out early on. My eyes are on Ledlix. So we are moving out, so we are being active. So far the probe is just rallied across the map, so nothing crazy. Again, last game we had some very stock standard openers. Going 2-gate opener into expansion, into Twilight Council, into Blink, with there being the Sentry Stalker for the first units of choice. Both players had mirror builds. Probe Scout comes in. And so far everything's looking normal. Once again, the Lex is looking for the second pylon. RT has the option to maybe even hide the pylon, not even commit to an all-in or commit to a proxy. But for now, also just moving out for a Probe Scout. Okay. So far, so good. But again, shout out to Platinum Esports and Platinum Heroes for hosting and organizing this event. This is kind of a new initiative to how they want to approach 2025. For a long time, they were hosting a bunch of in-house tournaments, and they were, of course, supporting their. Oh god, as the probe goes out, nice snipe. They'll snipe the scouting probe. But for a long time, they were hosting their own in-house tournaments and, of course, supporting their players via salary, of course, the players on their teams. But recently, they did decide to actually change that a little bit and start focusing on hosting these monthly tournaments. This is the 3rd edition. Again, previously to this, we had casters like Rotterdam and Dave Testa and other community members and community figures hosting these events. And I believe the plan is to continue to run these tournaments till the end of the year for an end-of-year finals for the Platinum StarCraft League. Exciting stuff. If you want to help support these tournaments, and we'll be getting into greater detail later, but there is a Ko-Fi, not a Patreon. There's no Patreon for it, but there's a Ko-Fi which is very similar. Support the tournament to support their endeavors. So do consider checking it out. As for now, once again, standard openers. There is going to be the initial Robo from Lelix, so same build, same setup. It does take the expansion. I believe he did go for a slightly faster base. Yep, he did. Double Sentry. We saw a double Sentry opener here out of Lelix instead, so faster expansion. Likewise, it scouts across the map, and it is going to be a Stargate opener out of Art. Stargates into Oracle instead. No fast blink this time. With this, Lelixi should have the slightly better economy, as he has the faster base. The base is already done, and the natural base is still on the way for Art, so he's still in production, but the way to make up for that is the Oracle. The Oracle's here to get economic damage done. Speaking of, does get in between the bases. I'd have to say shade into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down so far. 1, 2, 3 probe kills already. Ooh, the Oracle does take a lot of damage though. Oh no! And the Oracle does not overextend. I mean, does take a lot of hits, but that's going to be 5 worker kills. The Oracle gets away. We have a second Oracle coming in, and 2 Oracles. They can one-shot probes. Together they can one-shot workers. So shields are regenerating. Art does rotate towards the natural. Sentry's trying to keep up. And he's spotted. I could even try to go for the sentries, but is going to back up for the time being. And even though Art had a much later natural base, he's caught up worker-wise. Oh, let's face back in. Gets one, gets two more probes. Takes a lot of damage, but does get away. Second Oracle comes back in. 3 probe kills. Art takes a lead. Art does take a lead, reinforcing with more Stalkers. And this time we have both players getting into Blink. Okay, even though that Lelix did go for a Robo opener, he goes Robo into a much faster Twilight Council into Blink Stalkers. Both players taking in very similar directions. But of course, with Art having that slight worker advantage. Third bases are on the way. Blink is still going to be slightly faster for Art. And he's going to be active with it. He's moving out. Let's still Oracle into the main. 3 more probes. Ooh, 1 Oracle finally goes down, but at this point it has paid for itself. And can we force a cancel? It's going to be ambitious. Instead, it does kill the shield battery. Shield battery goes down. Art is going to be reinforcing across the map. At the same time, we have double adept threatening a shade towards the natural. Remember, 2 probes that can one-shot workers. Art does get a sentry though. Oh, does retarget. Gets a Stalker. Has yet to lose anything so far. Nice control. Stalkers are getting low. Art does pull away. At the same time, Adepts do shade in between the bases. And there's some damage being dealt, but the Adepts are going to be cleaned up. They get 3 probe kills. Okay, they get 4. Oh, no, not quite. 4 workers go down. Art's still ahead in the worker count. Works in between the bases. Doesn't quite get the sentry or the Stalker, but does get 3 probes. And pulling back, pulling away. Oracle does find some more damage. And Archie's just all over the licks. It's no major big wins here and there, but it all slowly adds up. Getting 1 or 2 workers here and there. Are now up by 5. Here comes the follow-up. Charge on the way, +1 on the way. We spoke about this big power spike in PvP last game, how Charge does allow you to trade or to out-trade to be more efficient against a Stalker Immortal heavy composition, and we're getting there again. Whereas Lelix, he does not have Charge. Stuck with Blink, building up Immortals. But Artie's taking up, he's refining his army. Not just taking it to Charge, but also getting to his own Temple Archives into Archon production as well. So I'm liking Art's overall position. He doesn't just have a greater economy, but with that greater economy, he's getting into a more refined army. It's taking up. Meanwhile, Lelix is going to be stuck with purely Blink Stalker. He is not expanding, not getting a 4th base. Gateway explosion behind this. How many gateways in total? 6, soon to be 9? Jesus. that's a high gateway count. Let's go. At this point, Lelix essentially going for a 3-base all-in. As behind this, he's on, 7 gateways. He's on 7 gates, does move out. Stasis will delay. We have an 8th gateway on the way, so 3-base, 8 gates all in here at Lelix with Mass Blink Stalker. And can he hit Art just before there's too many of this mass amount of charge lots? Now the 4th base doesn't matter. Bear that in mind. Remember, this is a 3-base all in, so the 4th doesn't really matter. Does tank a lot. Charge will say dive in, going for the Immortal. The Immortal's going to go down. And starts to do well tanking. Yeah, they tank well here. As more Stalkers do fall, we do go for a reinforcing wave of Stalkers. Prism goes down, no more reinforcements. And these Zelda do such a great job tanking the Archons as well. And you can just see how much more efficient Art's army is. I was concerned that Art wasn't ready in time. I was concerned that he didn't have enough Zealots. He had plenty. He saves the expansion as well, bearing in mind that he didn't need to. Lelix was that much more committed, that much more all-in. Killing the base was not going to be enough to allow him to recover. But Art even saves it. Saves the 4th. Builds up a greater army, and again, Lelix does feel like he did miss that window of opportunity. Now going for a split push. Can still get the expansion. Okay, not bad. Nexus will go down. There's a recall. Takes down the expansion. But this is where the soup is not lying. This is where the army of Art is getting out of control, is getting out of hand. Sure, he lost the expansion, but Lelix doesn't even have a fourth. Doesn't have a fourth base, doesn't have any kind of refined army here. Stuck on Pure Blink Stalker. And here comes Art. Just bullying back Lelix. From here, he can just blink on forward, he can chase him down. There's the blink. Lelix, he's going to be losing pros behind this. We have a War Prism into the main. We have Zealous of the Natural in the main base as well. Everything's blinking red. Everything's on fire. And GG gets caught. Lelix is just torn apart, and Art, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations Art, he will claim the series, he will advance on, and my condolences to Lelix, as Lelix, he did hold his own for a time, and again, he had a really, I respect his approach here, like he didn't try to cheese Art out, he didn't go for hyper aggression. For the most part, in game 1 especially, we had almost mirrored builds, like both players, they had their own kind of approach to get into the mid game. Here I will say 3-base all in. Right here for game 2, he went for a 3-base all-in, but again, it does feel like he missed his window, he missed his timing. By the time he got across the map, it was already too late. It was already too late. Art, he was already set up with his charge ults, with his Archons, with a greater army. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Art does advance on, and let's follow Art into the rest of the brackets. Let's go. Exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. I got you. As we switch our scenes over, and the bracket has been progressing. Okay, from the top, we have a Creator. Creator, he was waiting in the second round as the #1 seed of the tournament. Rebellion takes down Hydra 2-0, and Creator is up against Rebellion in the quarterfinals. In that PvP, best of luck, best of luck. Scoring down Nickrak, and Nickrak takes down Sig 2-0, and Nickrak is up against Art in the quarterfinals as well. That is our next series. That is our next series, that is our next matchup. Just messaging the players to make sure that we don't get left behind. Un momento. Beautiful. Scoring down, we have Krystianer. Krystianer, he is still waiting. Oh, never mind. he was waiting in the next round, but actually he's going to be up against Lunacy. Oh my god, Lunacy takes on Art 2-0. And Lunacy, the Korean Protoss player, is going to be up against Krystianer in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Jumy takes on Bernie 2-0, and Jumy is waiting for the winner of Shameless and Azura in that PvP. Oh boy. Now, I will be transparent here when it comes to our matchups, when it comes to the bracket here. It's almost pure Protoss. The lower half of the bracket, pure PvPs here. Krystianer, Lunacy, Jumy, Shameless, Azura, all PvPs. And one of the reasons why we dove on Art versus Lelix into the next round is because there is one lone non-Protoss. There's no Zergs, of course, no Zergs in the brackets, but there is one Terran, Nickrat, the one big notable Terran player here. So I did want to have at least a little bit of variety in today's broadcast to be able to follow and have some PvT, at least for a little bit longer. I'm hoping we can maybe have some PvTs to go further into the bracket, further into the tournament, but the pressure is on. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. The one non-Protoss hope in the brackets, it is Nickrat. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. I do apologize for not having predictions open for the previous matchup. I'm just a little bit frazzled jumping into the broadcast, into the series. But here, predictions are open, so you can Gamba while you can. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As we lead to our Terran versus Protoss. I was there in true. I do apologize, but a shout out to Bernie as well, to Bernie in the chat. Also a Terran player, big shout out. I appreciate you, Pappy. I appreciate you. For sure, for sure. But here we go. Double gas to open out of Nick Ratchet, going for a more tech-heavy start, going for a faster factory. Probe Scout from Art does confirm. Does confirm, is aware from here he should be going for a bit of a safer opener. If he had scouted a single gas, a Raxin to expand, then Art would have the option to cut some corners to be a little bit more greedy, a little bit more economic instead. Art does turn back around. Factory is on the way. From here, we have a couple of options for Nick Ratchet. He can go for a faster reactor into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He can go into a faster Tech Lab, into an add-on sub, into early Cyclone. He can go for a Tech Lab into, he can go Reactor Marine into Tech Lab, into add-on sub, into Banshee play, for example. And we'll see where we head as the reactor is on the way, and the first Reaper does move out. It is not uncommon for some Terran players to even skip their SCV Scout, to skip their Reaper Scout as well, to go Reactor Marine into a Hellion Scout instead. We can see Nick Ratchet is playing safe, does go for the first Reaper, does dip into the main base, and will threaten the mineral line. Does poke in, does threaten. Nick Ratchet will pull away, and is deflected by the Adept. It's going to be deflected. Just some safety shield batteries being thrown down. A shield battery in the main base, shield battery at the natural as well. So Art, he is setting up. There's that 1-1-1 CC on the high ground from Nick Ratchet. No crazy one base all in. And we do have the Reactor Marine production. No Hellion going for the mine into what should be a mine drop. Oh, only singular Widow Mine. Okay, interesting. Just the one Widow Mine. Starport's on the way. There's no Tech Lab on the factory. And the drop is coming. So Medevac is on the way. Now we're getting to our Tech Labs. We do have our initial Widow Mine. We have the Heli. We have a couple of Marines. Going to be a bit of a kitchen sink of a drop, but has potential to get damage done. Ooh, as we're going to be going for the Tech Lab straight into add-on swap. Okay. So earlier Tech Lab on the starports. Here comes the initial drop. Back at home, we have a standard opener here, getting up to 3 gateways. So 3-gate blink out of Art. Drop is coming in, is going to be intercepted. Nice catch. Doesn't get eyes on the medevac, but this will distract the hallucination, and behind this, Cloak Banshee. So again, we have the fast add-on swap into Cloak Banshee, and the hallucination is otherwise distracted. That is a concern. Drop behind the mineral line. Shield batteries under fire. Marshal goes off. Ooh, forcing friendly fire. And the medevac does go down. Nice pick up here from Art. Doesn't pull away the workers, and they're being targeted down. They're being targeted down here. Nice target firing by Nick Ratchet. Gets 7 probe kills. Ooh, that should not have happened. 7 workers go down. Again, he did target down the shield battery first, and every single individual probe. That is more damage than what should have happened. And again, RT is yet to confirm what's going on behind this. I was putting a lot of emphasis earlier on the hallucination because it was chasing the medevac. The one plus side is it did bait out the mine shot. True. Did bait out the mine shot, did force some friendly fire. That did help in some way. We can see Nick Ratchet is in position to deny the follow-up hallucination. Speaking of, hallucination does pivot towards the left-hand side. The Marines, they miss the hallucination. Assuming we... Oh, never mind. We go into the main. Marines, they will zone away. They will focus it down. Nice pick-off. And Art, he's in the dark. He doesn't see. He doesn't see what's going on. Hallucination goes down. Does punish the Marines at least. But the Banshees, they will soon be upon us. As they've been banking up here in the main. Stalkers at Anvil. They focus on the tank. Not bad. Tank goes down. Nice damage. Nick Ratchet, he's holding, but at a cost. And thankfully, back at home, Art is playing safe. Art, he's getting a third base, but also Robo. The Robo is done. The Observer has arrived. He has 1 Observer back at home. On the one hand, Art, he hasn't really seen what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on, but he will have detection. As 2 Banshees, they sit up in the main. 2 Banshees, they will one-shot workers. If they can, and they will. And 3, 4, 5 probe kills. Second Observer has arrived. Stalker's not quite in position. And Banshees, they will get away. They pull out. And what's scary is they can always get some more damage. Meanwhile, Art coming in for the surround. Comes in from behind, chases down the Banshees. Not bad. We'll get 1. Potentially even 2. Oh, blinks on forward. And does take down both Banshees, not bad. And as the dust settles here, I mean, we have had a bit of a back and forth trade. These are expensive losses here for Nickracht. On the one hand, yes, he kills how many? 13 probes. 13 workers go down. That is a lot of economic damage. At the same time, he lost 2 Banshees, he lost 1 tank, he lost Cloak, he lost a medevac. These trades, they haven't been for free. They have not been for free. Behind this, Art establishing his 3rd. Building up his Stalkers, maintaining map control. On Nickracht, likewise working towards Stim, combat shields +1. Eventually he will break out. Until then he's stuck at home. As he attempts to move out, Art is in position to delay the push. Tank till siege. Art will take a tank shot to the face. Reinforcing pylon across the map as well. Storm is on the way for Art. We're working with the splash damage. Meanwhile, he gets caught out. We'll bleed out 1, 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers even. Okay. Nice catch here from Nickracht, and he's just sending it across the map, getting almost another Stalker. Behind this, he only has the 2 tanks. He has a massive amount of Marine Marauder. He's got his upgrades. And Storm needs more time. Art, he's not ready for this at the same time, going for his Zealot counterattack. Building up those High Templar, charge, Storm, he still needs more time. Without Storm, there's not going to be a hold here. Extra sieging. Zealots go for the wraparound. Nice reaction from Nickracht, very nice. It pulls back in time, zones away those Zealots. Oh! Picks up a Stalker. Does get 1 at the same time. Zealots, they do hit the mineral line though, SCVs are going down. Mining's being denied. Storm is complete. He's ready. Oh. Doesn't go for it yet, but he has those storms. He's holding on to them. 7 SCVs across the map. Tanks are unsieged. And now is Art's time. Nobody doesn't know it. And now diving forward. High Templar, they got targeted though. Uh-oh. Yeah, no storm. No storm whatsoever, and he's done it. Nickracht, he breaks on through, takes out the charge lots, takes out the Stalkers. 0 storms! Yeah, storms are not available, and with that, he breaks on through. Imagine 1 or 2 storms here with the army. That could have made the world of difference. GG, and Nickracht, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. Whew, GG. Oh my god. Again, clutch moves out of Nickracht, able to stim on forward, able to dive in and focus down those 2 High Templar just before the storm. I say just before. Storm was done. Storm was done. Storm was ready, but late reaction. Late reaction out of Art. He was not able to storm in time. He was not able to pull back his High Templar or storm the army. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Those are the only 2 High Templar he did have. And even though he successfully bought time for Storm to finish, couldn't make use of it. Couldn't make use of it in the end. And Nickracht does take a lead, and we'll see if he can claim the series or if Art can fight back and force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. As we're getting into game number 2. And again, a very intense game here, and we could have seen a very different outcome if those High Templar had survived, if they were further back, if there wasn't that insane target firing out of Nickracht. Getting very close, very clutch. As game 2 is going to be on Pylon. Here we go. Catching up. Sick target firing for sure, for sure. Sick target firing. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the pink Polish Protoss player. Polish Protoss himself, representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran for the Platinum Heroes in the series 1-0. It is Nickracht. Here we setting up. And ideally, we're going to be following these players into the semis as well. Again, exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We have had a lot of updates, a lot of progression, as the initial round has already wrapped up. And we'll catch up on that after this series. We'll get there. Speaking of the series, I do hope that we can maybe embrace the ace match, get into a game 3, but welcome to Pylon being a much more aggressive map here, winding it back and referring to Nickrack's style in that last game. These earlier pushes, these committed move outs, these committed timings, they can hit even harder on Pylon. The rush distance by ground is very short and very direct as well. Unlike on other maps, it can be much more difficult to maintain and to defend the third, just because of how open the base is and how short the rush distance is as well. So we'll see if Art can keep up with the aggressive nature of Nickrack. As Nickrack, he is known for his TVP, I would say probably his strongest matchup nowadays. There was a time where he was renowned for his TVT, and he was a bit of a TVT sniper. That was a couple of years ago. Nowadays, I do definitely favor his turn versus Protoss. You know, we casted him earlier this year, take down Max Packs, for example. He's taken maps off of Hero as well. Don't necessarily favor him on a regular basis against those players, but he's got it in him to spike up and to catch him out, to pop off, for sure. Meanwhile, economic starts. I glossed over it, but this time single gas opener, racks into CC on the low ground. Checking the vision of Art, he was able to confirm. He was able to. Yo, Caster Park, calm down, Pat. Yeah. I don't often hear players use Caster Park. I think the only other that I've noticed is Migs. I know Migs does use Caster Park. Shout out to Art as well, by the way. He did qualify for the Fusion Esports League Krakow main event. That's going to be happening, of course, in Poland. That's going to be in less than a week's time is going to be that tournament next weekend. Art, of course, spent some time in Korea a couple of years ago. I want to say like pre-COVID, like 2020, 2021. Art was in South Korea, one probe goes down. And I think Art made a tweet after he qualified saying, "Oh, I'm going to be SOS's translator." Let's go. Also going to be competing in the event as well, of course. Rushing up in his Korean with Caster Park. Behind this, Blink is on the way, throwing down extra gateways. I did mention earlier in the last game how if he had seen a more economic start, he could cut some corners, and to be fair, he is. You can see here, no shield battery in the main base, no shield battery at the natural. He's still going for 3-gate Blink into a roadway before expansion, but he's cutting corners in other ways, just to be a little bit more efficient, just to set up into a more, again, efficient and stable mid-game. Nice auto-stepping. Catching out the Adept. Adept goes down. We have extra axes on the way. Opening up. Interesting. Only 2 helis, but he does have potential for drop play. Going for marine drops with heli and aggression towards the natural. Okay, let's go. There's going to be 3 helis in total alongside the 1 Reaper. Designed to get into mineral lines, designed to get economic damage. Meanwhile, the SimCity here, there is an opening. There is an opening towards that natural base, and we'll see if Nickrack can cause that distraction. Ideally, he wants to drag the army into the main. Medevac is making its way in. Art moves out. Uh-oh. As he moves out, Nickrack is moving in. Does force a recall. And here comes a Hellion Reaper. Causing that distraction, takes out one of the stalkers. It's going to be a one-way trip. Gets one stalker so far, and we get a full wall. Very nice setup. Art, okay. He does fully wall off. He defends the main, and he defends the natural. Ooh, that could have been so much worse. He did fully wall. He denies the Hellion Reaper. The downside to what just occurred, though, is the third base is delayed. So delayed third base out of Art. Art even going and teching into a bay on 2 bases. So it's taken all 4 gases, going for the bay as well, going for earlier Colossus into a much later third. Oh. Hello. That was interesting. As Hellions are hunted down. Ran into each other for a moment. Auto turret harass into the main. Alright, likewise making his way into the main base, but there's plenty waiting for him, plenty in position. Backs off. As Nickrat, he does defend. Winding it back a little bit here. On the one hand, I will say that Art had a stronger defense, of course, as he has maintained his economy. So far, a much better defense than last game. A stronger defense. Out of Art. Likewise, has been playing very safe going into his Colossus production very early as well. And we'll see how Nickrat will approach this. Do you see what I see? I see 2 more Raxes. That is a 4th and 5th Rax here for Nickrat. That isn't confirmation of a 2-base all-in, but it is a sign of things to come. Especially if he does not get add-ons. Yeah, no add-ons. So he could pull the boys with this. He has the option to pull the boys. He does have this 5-Rax setup. We'll see how committed it's going to be. Still waiting for +1. Nickrat does stim. We're just diving on the Prism. He goes for another stim. The Prism is going to go down. Massive pickup. And checking his vision here, he did not see the Bay. He did see some of the gases. He's aware of the later expansion, so he should be somewhat aware of the Colossus. There we go. There's a salvage. There's a move out. And Nickrat, okay, he's getting add-ons. So he's not going all in. He's not going all in. He's getting add-ons. He's working on a second eBay. Armory's on the way. He scans. He sees the Colossus, and he wants none of it. He backs off. So Nickrat, he respects the Colossus. He respects the defensive position. Instead, 3rd CC on location. So the game will progress. The game will progress here. Nickrat going for the double drop into the main. It's up to Art here to keep up. There's a drop pin spotted. Art coming in from behind, going for the Metamax. Oh! And so far he does get one. One full Metamax goes down. Nice pickup. Takes down the Metamax at the same time, going for the Colossus. But there's plenty here in position. The Zealous, the Sentries as well. Nice force fields. Just being a buffer here for the Colossus. Shield battery is done, and the tank does go down. And this is why I'm concerned for Nickrat. Up until this point, he was looking fine. He was getting his 3rd base. Art didn't have the greatest economic lead either, but he's losing supply. He's throwing away a lot here. He lost a full medevac on the left. He lost a full medevac on the right. And what did he achieve for it? What did he get for it? Not much. He lost a medevac, 13 Marines, a tank, 3 Marauders for a handful of Zealots and 2 Sentries. Not the damage he was hoping for. Another fuck. Oh, God. Another medevac goes down. Auto turrets are popping off, okay. Oh no! Ah, the Raven goes down as well. That means there's nothing keeping any supply pin back at home. There's no Raven to harass the mineral lines, to threaten the mineral lines. And Art is looking that much more secure. Now he's still taking up. He's establishing his 4th base. Storm is on the way, getting to 1-1 upgrades. Needs a little bit of time for all that to kick in. But not a bad position at all here for Art. Just waiting for that storm, of course. Meanwhile, Nickrat, he does have that supply lead. He's actually working towards the 2nd starport. Into quadruple Viking production. Okay, let's go. Likewise, he's also working towards Ghost as well. The Ghost Academy is done. No Ghosts yet, but they're going to be on the horizon. As the Academy is complete. And this is still a very robust army. Nickrat, as he snipes the War Prism. Prism goes down. Prism's being rebuilt. Nickrat, he still has momentum. He still has a larger army. He has taken some losses, that is true. But we were emphasizing how late the 3rd base was and how the economy just has been lackluster for Art so far. That continues here as well. Art just now saturates his 4th. Both players are building up. Storm is ready for the Protoss. Oh, diving up into the concave. This I'm not so sure about. Yeah, Vikings are going to town. A couple of storms do connect, and oh my god, the storms are popping up. And he sent in the storms. Does stand in the storms, but he can tank it. He can tank it regardless. Stims on forward, chasing down the Colossus. And despite how amazing the storms were, Nickrat, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm the army. And again, that was not the fight to take. That was crazy seeing Art blink up into the concave. That was ay ay ay. And with that, Colossus count gets reset. And Nickrat maintains that supply lead. Wait, that was a patience blink. That was oh my god, that was insane. Patience, calm down. Here, Nickrat claiming his 4th base. At this point, Art should have a 5th. In this matchup, ideally, the Proto Storms will be up in expansion. They want to be up a base to make up for mules, to make up for the economy, the efficiency of the Terran army. Art just now getting a 5th after the 4th base is getting established. So late 5th base here for Art. Nickrat, he maintains his economic lead, and he should be the first to max. Likewise, Vikings are preserved after the first fight. EMP coming in as well. And we'll see if we can find those ghosts. Sorry, there's High Templar. Nice EMP. It does get 2. There's 1 storm left. Storm goes off on the Vikings. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nickrat, he's done it. He lands the Vikings. Takes down the High Templar. Chargers are coming from behind. But there's only Zealots left. It's only Charge left at this point. Zealots are trading well for themselves. They're being very efficient. Despite that, Nickrat, he kites back. Does clean up all the Zealots, and there's nothing left here. There's no High Templar, there's no Storm, there's no Colossus, there is no nothing. 1 Colossus now, waddling in. Okay. Vikings, they lift. And GG gets called. Nickrat, he will break the 4th base, he will overwhelm, and Nickrat, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations, as Nickrat, he will claim the series. Again, a very intense, very aggressive play from Nickrat. I was a little bit concerned that he was losing a little bit too much when it came to his drop play, but he was far enough ahead economically where he could afford those losses, where he still had a lead, he's still overwhelmed. Art, he was catching up, he was recovering when it came to his own 4th base, when it came to his first move out. I don't think he had to push, I don't think he had to fight, but he went for it. He saw a potential opening, he blinked up the ramp, and that was not the fight to go for. Again, Nickrat, he was ready for it. Again, he had his concave, he had his Vikings, he had his ghosts, he was ready for the fight. He was able to dominate it, resetting the Colossus count. Likewise, trading well against the Stalker Gateway army. GG. GG, well played. Even before that, it was a bit of a rockier road for Art. But we are going to be heading over to the Americas server as we have some updates. Let's go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's catch up on the brackets, figure out where we are and where we are headed. Whew, from the top, Creator takes down Rebellion 2-0, and we have our first set of semi-finalists here. It's going to be Creator versus Nickrat in the upper semi-finals. Now, shout out to, again, those working behind the teams at Platinum Heroes or Platinum Esports. But I believe the format for this event is a little bit different to what we're used to, especially when it comes to these online weeklies. But as a monthly, we have best of 5 semi-finals. Oh boy. So we have those best of 5s upon us at this point. Let's go. Potentially. Actually, I'm gonna have to double check on that one. Un momento. So I'll get back to you. Regardless, it is going to be Nickrat versus Creator in the semis. Scrolling down, we do have Krystianer versus Lunacy, as Lunacy did take down Art at 2-0. They're still mid-series. Likewise, Shameless takes down Azura 2-0. We have Jumy versus Shameless. That is a rematch. Fun fact, we actually covered the Sparkling Tunic Cup earlier a couple of hours ago, and Jumy and Shameless, they were the 2 finalists out of a very similar set of players. We had Creator, we had Nickrat, we had Krystianer, we had Art, we had Jumy, we had Shameless. Jumy and Shameless, they face off for the finals, and Shameless, he was this week's Tunic Cup champion, but now they're facing off in the earlier rounds. They're facing off in the quarterfinals. As we speak. That's a spicy PvP. But again, we're focusing on the upper semis, and I do have confirmation it is going to be the best of 5. Let's go. As vetoes are underway. And depending on how things line up, we might be able to catch the lower semifinals as well, just depending on how fast or how slow these matches or these games are. Otherwise, we're nearing the tail end of the broadcast. Catching up with the chat. Oh yes, shout out to Tassad, by the way. Big shout out to Tassad. Best of 5 semis. How cold is it tonight? It's pretty cold. it's pretty cold. For those who are curious, it is winter here in Australia. It is winter, so the nights are quite cold. Quite cold. Pretty warm. 9 Celsius. It was 3 a couple days ago. It was 0 like maybe I want to say like maybe yesterday or the day before. At least where I am, we hit 0 degrees, which was amazing. It's very cold. Again, typically in the evenings, so at night. When the sun is up, everything is all good. It's very cold. Otherwise, oh, yo, it's a big shout out to Savarin at 215 in the chat. Gab, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for subscribing for 4 months. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. As again, we are kind of at the beginning of a very intense week of StarCraft. Not just with the Platinum StarCraft League, but also with Esports World Cup right around the corner. With also events like Fusion Esports League, True Fusion Esports League, also at the end of the week as well, featuring players that we're also seeing here tonight as well. Featuring players like Art, like Krystianer, like Geralt, a lot of Polish representation, some more international representation as well. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, again, an intense weekend. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a very short break here. Vetoes are underway, and we're still trying to work out the server selection as well. But once we come back, we will have our semis. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals or semifinals here of the Platinum StarCraft 2 League, June 2025. Whew. Again, it's great to be back here. We did miss out, or the Platinum League did miss out on a month hero there, so we have to catch up with the June edition, catch up with the July edition in the lead up to the end of year finals. We're getting there. This morning, in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Korean Protoss, the Red Protoss. It is Creator, the #1 seed of the tournament. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player for the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickeract. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Terran versus Protoss matchup. Here we go. As Creator moves out for a scout, does check his 3rd and 4th base location before moving out. And we're settling in. And again, if you're in the chat, predictions. Best of luck in the chat. Again, Nickeract, he is the only non-Protoss player left in the tournament, so give him your love, give him your support, Pappy, for a non-PvP finals. He needs it. Let's go. Likewise, as I mentioned previously, we have seen Nickeract excel in this matchup in TvP with a much more aggressive style. This is where we have seen Nickeract cause more upsets than not. In general, when it comes to Nickeract's play, I do feel like his weakest matchup is TVZ. I feel like that's where he's struggled the most historically. His TVT is solid, but again, against Protoss, that is where he can excel. That's where he can cause these upsets. That's where he can punch up, if you will. So despite Creator being a more renowned player, I want to believe that Nickeract can take it to him. And the best of 5 is still going to be difficult, but not impossible. Let's go. Let's go. From here, going to be settling in. It is going to be an economic start out of Nickeract, going for a single gas, racks expand into a delayed factory, and Creator, he does confirm.
Glory to the day.
Creator, he gets eyes on the CC timing. Behind this opening Adept into Sentry, into Hallucination, into a Scout. Creator is going to zone away. Behind this is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of the Protoss. Opening up Twilight Council. Reaper does skirt by. Oh, at least attempts to. Blue Station's moving out, and ideally Creator wants to get an eye on the add-ons, wants to confirm if there's any shenanigans afoot. For now, Reactor Marine into Hellion. No add-ons yet. No tech to work with for the time being. Gonna be Hellion into Widowmine. I wish I had some Blixen in the chat. I was asking about Fusion Esports League. Of course, we are going to be covering the Fusion Esports League after EWC. We're locked in to cover it. We're going to be covering it alongside Wardian, alongside Rotterdam. Also, good morning, Krista, in the chat as well. Aye. Certain Krista emotes have been plaguing the chat as of late, I will say that. Shaking my head. But welcome. Buenos dias. As from here, we do have our Mind Drop setup. Whose Nation will poke in. We'll get eyes on the Widowmines. Is aware. Yes, that's what has been plaguing the chat. The licking frog. God damn it. Esther Krista. You're an animal. Aye. As we have our draw player across the map, but behind this working towards no add-on. Sorry, there is going to be an add-on swap. We do have a tech lab on the starport. No Banshee play, going into the Raven, going into earlier Stim. So Stim is on the way, Raven production as well. Nothing is committed as Banshees. And so far, Creator is keeping up. Aye. Yes, plaguing the chat, huh? As Nickrat, he doesn't commit. I do appreciate that he sees the Stalkers are in position, so he doesn't throw away his Widow Mines. He's just holding onto them, waiting for the opportune moment. Waiting for his upgrades. Stim, combat shields +1. Once the upgrades kick in, then Nickrat he can break out. Until then, he's contained. And there's no rush, right? There's no rush for Nickrat. I should also emphasize just how fast his upgrades are. Typically in this matchup, we would go for a tech lab on the factory. That's set up a little bit earlier for tank production to defend and to shut down this blink harass and blink control of his opponent. But here, there's no tanks whatsoever. Again, just faster stim, faster combat shields. Much earlier upgrades. As Nickrat is building up, going for a third CC, not going for a 2-base all-in. He's expanding. Up! Mine just flipping up. Getting one probe so far, one stalker. But there is no escape, and the Widow Mines are hunted down. Speaking of, Creator getting caught out, losing a stalker. We'll lose a stalker. Charge almost done. We do have a massive gateway explosion here from Creator. A very gateway heavy style. This has been a little more standardized of late. Again, going to charge him +1 before Storm or before Colossus, so splash damage is delayed here for Creator. And we'll see if he can get away with it. Double jump into the main. Creator also slipping into the main base as well. Creator, he does react, he does warp in. They're going to be able to trade. At the same time, SCVs are going down. Losing 5 SCVs. Nothing major. Nice choke point here against the Zealots. Gets 1, 2, 3 Zealots. Oh, no! Oh, Medevac barely pulls away in time. Whew, and does escape. Does not go down. Does get away. But again, no economic damage. Picked off a couple of Zealots. 9 in total have fallen. Oh, Medevac is hunted down. Losing one, losing both Medevacs. Uh-oh. And now there is no escape. Nice punish, though. Blinks on forward, or Sims on forward. Takes out the Stalkers. Creator rotating over. At the same time, Nickrat, he rallies across the map. And Nickrat, he wants the main army. And Creator, he'll also miss everything. He does have a wave of Zealous, though. Zealous warp in time. Does go for the warp in. The Marines are being cleaned up, and Creator, he holds. Yeah, he holds. He shuts down the army. Who needs Blink Stalkers? You're crazy. Zealous hold the line. Force fields are on point as well. And Creator defends. He does defend. He does deflect. Here, Creator, he expands, claims his own 4th base. Nickrat backing off, claiming his own 3rd. So backing off, we're building up. As Creator now he can work on his main army. Building up his Colossus eventually into, either Storm or a second Robo. Creator, he spots the move out. It's keeping up. Second starboard for Nickrat, working towards Mass Viking. Nice smoke in. Force fields, they lock him down. Has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Nice wing control. Cleans up all the mines. At the same time, a prism into the main. No major warp-ins. Keeping Nickrat busy. The game is slowing down. And you can see the stark contrast as well between Creator and Arts, where Creator here, he's getting a much faster 4th base, he has a much stronger economy, he's building up his Colossus count. In this game, Nickrat is nowhere near as comfortable. Nowhere near. Still being active, still trying to be active. 4th CC has begun. Racing a longer game. On Creator, he's ready. Nickrat, he thinks better of it. He backs the hell off. As there are 2 Colossus waiting at the natural. Likewise, a Colossus here at the 4th. Third base a little bit more exposed. Nickrat, he does find some probe damage there. Not bad. 3 workers going down, both players are still building up. So far, there are 8 Vikings. Creator spots the main army, he responds. So far, no Storm, just Colossus. And of course, the Gateway Army. Nickrat, he does them in. He has to respect this, he has to kite back. Does kite back. Trading with the Zealots. The 3 Colossus, they're just going ham. Nice force fields, knocking down Nickrat. Oh, and he will bleed out half his army. And Nickrat gets to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. And he bled out a lot of bio. Vikings had escaped, but that was not worth it for Nickrat. He traded against Zealots. And Creator takes the fight, he counterattacks. Again, the force fields are brutal. The Vikings, they never really got to engage the Colossus. The Vikings, they were stuck hiding with the main army. And Creator looking to just overwhelm. To get nice force fields, just ensuring that the army cannot kite back, but not easily. Colossus finally going down, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Okay, let's go. Takes down all 3 Colossi. Yo, we got the 2nd Prism, let's go. Can keep one with the main army, can send the other into the main. Speaking of, yep, let's go. Does send it off into the main base. Vikings are in position. Prism should be going down. Nicely done, and Nickrat holds. Whew, okay, Nickrat, he does hold on. Resets the Colossus count, shakes out, shuts down the Prism, and expands. Game does continue. Creator casts full back, and I was curious to see what the splash damage of choice would be, working towards Dark Templar, but also that is a 2nd Robo. So he's not going into Storm, he's going Colossus into Disruptor. So he's sticking with a Robo-heavy composition. Dark Templar do fan out. So you just slip behind the mineral line. And so far no major damage, but just causing an annoyance, forcing back the army, forcing out scans, 7 SCV kills. Not bad. As Creator just buying time to build up his army again. Oh, and working towards Sky Toss. That's a Stargate. This might just initially just be for the Mothership, like Stargate into Fleet Beacon into Mothership. Otherwise, getting ready for potentially a Sky Toss-based army. Likewise, just scraping around the edge of the map. Does dive in. Creator out of position. And Nickrat, he's trading well. Takes down all the charge lots. And Zealots, they just get thrown away. And there's a rough fight here for Creator. Nickrat takes down the army, dives into the mineral line, basically to be going down, and Creator just completely out of position. And you can see Creator plummet in supply. And now Nickrat, he can fight. Yeah, he can just go for it. Takes down the Colossus. Stims on in. Gets 1, 2. Ooh, Prism goes down. It's a little bit overstim, but he wants that final Colossi, and he will get it. Oh, little mass. Does bring it down. That's going to be 49 probe kills. Aye, aye, aye. Again, Creator caught completely with his pants down. The pants were down, but not like this. Very nice pick-ups at Nickrat. Pulls away, building up his army once again. And Creator, he has nothing behind this. Remember, there's no Storm, there's no Colossus. Purely being Stalker. And Nickrat, he's done it. Wow, he has done it. GG gets called. He overwhelms the army, and Nickrat, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Creator, he was lacking map vision, he was lacking map control. He had missed the move out. Again, things were looking very intense, very back and forth. Creator, he was able to buy enough time to build up his Colossus count once again up to 3 Colossus, but he was ready towards the southern portion of his bases. He was not ready here for the dive right in between, in towards the 3rd base, into the 4th base as well. And we saw Creator trickle in. That's the other important factor there. As we were pointing out, he trickled in with a couple of Zealots first, then he trickled in with the Stalkers. The Colossus, they were caught out in the open. open, one closest towards the left, the other on the right, and it all just kind of, yeah, stumbled together. It was very chaotic, very lackluster defense there from Creator, very frazzled, I should say. And Nickrat catches him out. GG. GG, well played. Very unprepared, even, from Creator. And Nickrat takes a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can keep this going. Bearing in mind this is an extended series, bearing in mind this is a best of 5, not a best of 3, so we have more games ahead of us. But Nickrat, he does kick things off with some momentum. And we'll see if we can hold on to it. Here we go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is a Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickrat. Leading the series 1-0. Just catching up in the chat. A Platinum League, how do we join? This is a Platinum League in name only. Shout out to the organizers of the event. I say name only. Shout out to the Platinum Heroes and Platinum Esports, as they do organize this tournament. The event is open to, I was going to say all leagues, technically to all leagues, but there is a bit of a restriction. There is a restriction when it comes to illegal acts. So basically, I want to say around like the top 16 players in the world cannot compete, but outside of that, it is fair game. So we still have some very high quality gameplay here, just below the top level. So players like Serral, players like Maru, players like Raynor, players like, I want to say Cure, like they can't compete. I think that Byun is not eligible to compete either. I think Byun barely doesn't make the cutoff, but it is based off of a League of rating. You know what this was? Yeah, that's what we're trying to get into. Sorry, just catching up. Meanwhile, big shout out to Juanito, the special in the chat. Baby God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session or coaching session as well. I do know that Juanito was giving some coaching to Krista, to Dave as well, and to, I'm sure, many others. So big shout out to Juanito. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid, as we are in the semifinals of the Platinum StarCraft League. We're in the semis. Bienvenidos. As now we're selling in, and welcome one all to Torches. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. Did notice some clowns in the chat as well. Watch yourselves. Watch yourselves. As we are settling in, so far we have our 1-1-1 setup here out of Nickrat. Of course, it's scattered, spotted by Creator. Behind this, going for a Twilight Council in towards Blinkstalkers, as we are settling in and focusing on our game. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. But actually, I say bienvenidos. I don't want to gloss over it. I'll be honest, I can't remember the last time Special streamed on a regular basis. So I hope you had a good stream. I feel like a Special stream is a bit of a rarer sight. So thank you so much. Gracias. And so now Creator does claim his third. Behind this, we have our 1-1-1 getting into Banshee play. No cloak. Bear that in mind. There's no cloak. There's no upgrade. Creator is yet to confirm, coming in with this follow-up hallucination to get a read on Nickrat. You see the Cyclone in position to deny the scouts. Oh, does dip in. And he does see the Tech Lab, doesn't see researching for all. Creator knows this could still be a Raven. Bearing in mind, remember, last game we had a Raven follow-up out of Nicaract. We had Ravens, we had Raven Harass. But here comes the move out. Nicaract, he's pushing, going for a bit of a beyond move out. The boys are being pulled. Remember, no stim. There's no stim with this. The move out gets spotted. Creator, he's aware. And it's up to Creator to engage ahead of time. There we go. Throws down a wall of shield batteries. Shield batteries are on the way. Nicaract, he's sending it. He sends it across the map. Oh. Creator does poke in. So far, Nash repair here in the Cyclone. Does repair. Shield batteries not ready yet. They're still halfway done. And Nicaract, can he break through? Takes down the first shield battery. There's 3 more behind this, going for the Autosis pylon. Oh no, the pylon goes down. And that was the only pylon. No shot. The pylon goes down. The boys are being pulled. The tank barely does fall. Yeah, the tank goes down, but there's no powering here. There's no robo. There's nothing. And no shit, Nicaract. No shot. He breaks through that defensive line, breaks through into the natural. Barely any stalkers left. Everything stays depowered. And Nicaract, he has a reinforcing tank. He can keep going. Does focus on the pylon. Pylon is focused down. There's only 2 gateways behind this. Stalkers are coming to intercept. Nice catch. Brings down one of the Banshees. But Nicaract, he's doing it. He kills the robo. Behind this again, only 2 gateways, only 2 warpins at a time, and that's not going to be enough. Yo, is Nicaract, can he do it? Este Nicaract, man. Yay. Stalkers, they go for the dive, they come in for the surround. Nice pick off. Takes down the tank. Tank does fall. Yeah, the tank goes down. Nicaract stuttering in. Oh, he's bleeding out a lot of Marines. Yeah, nice big control here from Creator. Does control well. And Creator, he will survive. He will survive. He will clean up this army. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? Creator, he saves the expansions. He's on 3 bases. He's on 3 in XI. He has an okay worker count. He can build 3 workers at a time. But a big loss for him was the tech. He lost the robo. He lost the gateways. Lost the pylons. Did lose a lot of tech. He has to rebuild. And back at home, Nicaract, he has a healthy worker count. We have Stim on the way. 3rd TCs in production. Ideally, Nicaract, he wants to end the game, right? He wants to end the game then and there. Is unable to, but he did deal some crippling damage. Remember, he killed how many? He killed 24 probes. So Nicaract in a solid position. Building up into the mid-game, and Creator, he's licking his wounds. He's licking his wounds, and there's not really much to work with here. There's no Forge, there's no +1. There's no upgrades. Just Charge and Blink. And again, winding it back, some of the strength of this build does come from the map as well. Sure, rushes to spy ground. Torches, I mean, is known for aggression, and we rarely get to see Torches outside of moments like this, outside of best of 5s, right? That's the great thing about best of 5s. We get to experience maps like Torches, maps like Lost Fantasy. Nicaract, he has Stim. He has Stim, now he has upgrades. Now we can actually fight and trade with the Stalkers. And he's moving out. And you can see Nicaract, he's not giving Creator any room to breathe. He doesn't want him to stabilize. Stim's in. Does Stim in. Does catch out the Stalkers. Oh, catching out 2. Two Stalkers go down. We have the slow lots coming in. Yeah, there's no charge. There's no charge. Zelts go down. Tank does siege. Once again, going for another dive. Does blink forward, but it's going to cost Creator all these Stalkers. Yeah, massive loss. GG gets called, and Nicaract, he will extend his lead in the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does extend his lead here. Again, a hyper-aggressive build this time out of Nicaract. On 2 bases, pulled the boys, went into early Banshee production, early tank production as well. Again, went for a very Beyond move out here. Beyond is very fond of this kind of style as well, moving out without upgrades, with Vanilla Marines. Vanilla Marines, no Stim, no combat shields, no +1, but with the early tank, with the early bio army as well, catching the Protoss player with their pants down. Creator, he saw the move out ahead of time. He saw it as it pushed, I should say. He was trying to get ready. He was throwing down a wall of shield batteries back at his own natural base, but it was too late. Again, short rushes and spy grounds. Little time to react, little time to respond. A late reaction to what was happening, and the shield batteries, they never came into play as everything got depowered. There was one Artosis pylon, and once it fell, that was almost game then and there. GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game 3, bearing in mind this is a best of 5. And I'm hoping for more of a back and forth. I'm hoping for a game 4, a game 5, but the pressure is on. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss down heavily in the series. And can he fight back? Can he make a series out of this? It is a Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have our blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from causing a massive upset and advancing on to the grand finals. It is Nicaract. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. Here we go. Players are settling in. And we'll see what kind of build Nicaract goes for this time. Again, we've seen something more macro-oriented in Game 1. We saw something more aggressive in Game 2. What do we go for here in Game 3 as well? Welcome on to Persephone. Persephone is an interesting map in the map pool. Has a shorter rush distance by air, has a very direct rush distance by ground. There's some other features, of course, like the healing pad. We have the gold bases on the right-hand side. We have the speed zones as well. I feel like this map is more so a map of extremes. We either see some shorter games or some more extended macro games as well, just because it can be quite easy to cut the map in half. Based on these two players, I don't really expect this to go the distance. No shot. Like Nicaract, he's more of a player that does thrive when it comes to timing attacks. And we'll see what kind of setup he does go for as he opens up with a single gas into a faster CC. So racks its command out of Nicaract. Does go for more economic start. And we'll see what the follow-up tech is going to be. Does he open up into Widowmine drop? Does he head into Banshee once again? Into Cloak Banshee even? Game 1, we saw Nicaract skip tanks and rush into early stim, into early bio upgrades if you missed out on it. I do recommend it. Game 1 was a banger. Solid. It's a solid game out of Nicaract. Behind this, we're settling in to have our 1-1-1 setup here in the main, going reactor here on that Rax. Going reactor Marine. We have the initial scouting Hellion as well. And basically what we're waiting for is the tech lab time. We're waiting for the tech lab on the factory, we're waiting for the tech lab on the starport. Waiting to see how this all comes together. As for now, we're preserving a lot of gas. Continuing with Hellion production. Hellion production does continue. Creator opening up Blink. Here comes the initial medevac. The initial drop. As Creator playing it safe. Opens up 3-gate Blink into a Robo. From here, he could take extra gases and stay on 2 bases that much longer. Oh, throwing down another gateway though. Okay. 4-gate Blink Stalker. Not something you see too often. They're going for extra gateways, getting up to 4. A bit of a rarer build nowadays. This was a little more common a year ago, even 2 years ago, but has been phased out. It's a hyper-aggressive build and much more committed. And here comes a Prism. Yeah, we're moving out. We're moving out, so hyper-aggression out of Creator, going into Mass Blink Stalker. It's up to Nicaract to confirm what's going on. And if he skips the tanks again, I'm going to be concerned for Nicaract. Medevac does boost in. Stalker's in position, they shouldn't get much done. Likewise, Hellies, they bust into the natural, probes are lighting up, and workers are going down. One more volley, 5 probe kills so far. Gets 5, gets 6, up to 7. And one more volley, barely nods, but 9 probes do fall, not bad. And what did we see? What did we scout? Nicaract, he saw 2 gateways on the right-hand side. He saw 1 gateway here in the main, didn't see the 4th gate. Prism is moving out, and here comes Creator's counterattack with Mass Blink Stalker. Behind this, there's a bunker, but no tanks. Once again, no tank production rushing into stim. You can see no tech lab on the factory. And this might just be it here. Stalkers a bust in. There's going to be Vanilla Marines to defend. And Creator, he can overwhelm. Yeah, he can just bully the Terran army here. We'll lose one Stalker. Waiting for the reinforcements. Raven gets started down. Ay. And Creator, he can just keep going. Yeah, he can just keep going and just keep pushing. And again, specifically, Nick has just been so greedy here. 0 tanks, no bunker in the main. Add-ons are exposed. And this should just be a hard counter. Yeah, this should just be a hard counter here. Denies the add-ons. Denies the upgrades. He can focus down the Marauder. And this is the same build that we saw in Game 1. Same build from Game 1. 11 SCV kills. GG gets called, and Creator, he will overwhelm, he'll fight back, he'll put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Nick Rat, he was punished for skipping his tanks, punished for not recognizing what exactly Creator was up to. Again, this is a very specialized or very specific build from Creator, just hyper aggression on 4-gate blink, and it is designed to punish a player that does decide to skip out on tanks. Or I say skip out on tanks, skip out on defense back at home. I want to say you can defend if you do see this ahead of time, if you get a bunker in the main base, if you pre-pull the boys to repair at least. I think it is possible to defend, of course easier with tanks, but GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator does fight back, and we are getting into game number 4. Oh, what were the Veeters? what were the Veeters, Pappy? We had torches earlier, and now we are getting into Lost Fantasy. Oh boy. Lost Fantasy is up next. This is the most vetoed map in the map pool. Heavily vetoed, and we rarely see maps on, or games on Lost Fantasy, but here, we're embracing it. Let's go. We're embracing the chaos. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lost Fantasy, we have the red Protoss flavor, the red Protoss himself, the South Korean Protoss. Fighting back, putting a point on the board, and can he force the ace match? He's one game away from doing so. It is Creator. And spawning in the top side of Lost Fantasy, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. Still one game away from claiming the series and advancing on to the grand finals. Automas, one more is all he needs. It is Nicarat. Let's go. Whew. Hi. And again, great to see just a different reaction, different kind of build out of Creator. Again, designed to punish a player that's cutting corners, that's being a little bit greedy back at home. Creator, he is not taking this lying down. Not at all. But we rarely get to see games on Lost Fantasy, so I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Welcome one and all to a 3-player spawn map, the first one in a very, very long time. You can spawn in right side, left side, and top side as well. So 3 possible spawn locations, and we can see Creator, he will scout left side. So is Nicarat. See the rally also checking bottom left as well. Likewise, we have the mass speed zones in the center. We have a lot of choke points as well. A lot of choke points. We have seen players actually struggle to break a defending player on 3 and 4 bases just because of the narrow ramps, just because of the points of elevation, and the choke points coming into these expansions as well. But in general, this series, our players have been much more assertive and much more aggressive, so I would imagine we're not really going to maybe take advantage of that. We'll see. We shall see. Reapers moving out. Behind this, I should have mentioned as well, double gas, right? Double gas opener out of Nicarat. Racks into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. So going back into a more aggressive start. As Nicarat will expand. But a much later CC. Creator, he's not fully aware. He saw the add-on on the way. I mean, technically, there could have been a CC on the high ground instead. And now Twilight Council opener. Seeing the chat, Babby, are you casting all of EWC this year again? Yes, we'll be casting it. Our schedule this week is full of EWC, and we should be able to cover all of it. Should be able to. It's going to be an intense week, man. Intense week. We'll also be casting the Fusion Esports League over the weekend. The big offline event that's happening in Poland, in Krakow. As the Reaper is sniped. Nicely done. Behind us we have Reactor to Reaper Hellion, at least for a moment. Oh, hello. Going for a second and third racks before the starport. Much more aggressive here from Nickract. Okay, so winding it back here, compared to the previous games where we've been going for faster medevacs and faster drop play, here we're delaying the starport, we're delaying medevac production in favor of Marines, in favor of earlier stim, in favor of a stronger bio army earlier on. And this can lead into a 2-base all-in. Can lead into an all-in. As you can see here, much earlier, I say much earlier, tank production. We didn't even have any tanks last game, but tank production underway, does prioritize it. And with this, he can hit with a triple tank timing. I believe it's 3 tanks with stim, with combat shields. Again, you can pull the boys with this as well. We might just skip the starport entirely. But this is a much more aggressive build here by Nickract. Much more aggressive, much more committed. And currently, Creator's in the dark. He hasn't seen really much of anything. But here comes that sentry, here comes that hallucination. So Creator, yep, there it is. There's the NG overcharge, there is that hallucination across the map. Now, there is a chance that Nickract could try and deny the scouts. But back at home, the Marines are at the natural. There's no Cyclone, of course, so yeah, we should be able to see everything. Creator, he dives in, he does confirm the tank production, he does confirm the Raxes, the stim, and he sees no starport. He's now aware of how aggressive Nickract is. Oh, responds with a Dark Shrine. I do like this. If this is indeed going to be a 2-base all-in, a Dark Shrine is ideal. The reason for this is because scans are limited. Especially when you're going for an all-in like this, you want a mule, right? You want a mule as much as possible because your worker count is going to be a lot lower than normal, so mules are that much more important, which means the chances of you having scans available is that much lower. Limited scans, likewise, of course, no third CC. And Nickract, oh, supply blocked. Brutal supply block for Nickract. Now is not the time. I was going to point out that he has no SCVs in production, but that's because he is supply blocked. Likewise, Creator, he is in position outside of the bases. Stim is almost done. And the Dark Shrine is almost complete. Nickract, he does break out. Creator so far doing a great job here at just sniping key units. Takes down a Marauder. Marauder goes down, Marines go down as well. Yeah, just delaying the push and picking away at the army. And here come the first wave of Dark Templar. And Nickract, he has no idea. He has no idea. Back at home, he may hold on to a scan. It's going to be close. Does he notice? Oh! Dark Templar does walk past. Scans ahead of time. A brutal force field. We spoke about the choke point earlier. Yeah, the force field is brutal. Heavy delay here for Nickract. Every second counts. Every second in favor of Creator. There's a scan. Leading out a lot of units already. Yeah, there's a shield right behind this. A couple of boys are being pulled. Tanks looking to siege. And once again, Arcturus' pylon. Uh-oh. Does focus on the pylon, but it looks like he will surround. Yeah, he surrounds, he cleans up the army. GG gets called, and Creator will tie things up. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Again, Creator, he was able to scout the build. He saw it coming ahead of time. He was able to slow it down, engage with those stalkers, picking away at Marines, picking away at Marauders. We spoke about the choke points and the narrow ramps earlier at the start of the broadcast, or at the start of this game, how that can be a factor. We saw that Nickract was punished for it as well, and the DTs, right? The Dark Shrine is also ideal against that kind of build. So a solid scout, a solid response out of Creator. And now we're going to game 5. Whew, let's go. We're going to game 5, and we'll see how this story ends. As this can go either way. Nickract, he had a lot of momentum early on, but now Creator, he's locked in. He's locked in. He's looking to make it to the finals. We'll see who can make it through. A spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, winning 2 games in a row, coming back from the brink and forcing the ace match. It is a Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. He's had momentum stripped away from him. Can he bring it back and bring it home? It is Nicaract. We go. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Once again, double gas opener here out of Nicaract. It's going to be opening up double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC, and we'll see if this leads into another similar build or something different. We'll keep an eye on the Terran. It's catching up in the chat. Mr. Duck, we'll be casting every game at EWC. We will not. We're going to be casting every day at the Esports World Cup, but there's going to be a B stream, so there's going to be 2 matches happening at once for certain parts of the broadcast. So we can only cast so much. Most likely, we're just going to be covering whatever's on the mainstream. Whatever's on the mainstream, we'll be covering as well. Will be the plan. So there are going to be some games that are going to be covered by the B stream instead. As it's going to be the main stream and the B stream. In regards to who's on the B stream, I believe that's going to be Fear Dragon, Steadfast, and Demuslim. I believe they're going to be covering the B stream, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone else is going to be on the main stream. For now, though, there's that factory. He's going Reactor first as well, after said Reaper. Nicaract does move out. Donate $40 to you. Oh, let's go, let's go. I didn't see any notification, but if that's the case, I do appreciate it. Oh, on right, you're staying on my personal Twitch channel. Oh, thank you. Gracias, baby, gracias. Bienvenidos. Do appreciate it. Yeah, I was really happy with our coverage of EWC last year. I was really satisfied. Really satisfied. Hopefully we can put on a good show this year as well. Hopefully. I still need to catch up on most likely after this broadcast when I wake up tomorrow morning. I'm probably gonna like binge RSL, right? I unfortunately I was not able to catch and not able to watch RSL, the Revival StarCraft League. But I feel like I need to catch up on specifically on Classics matches. Like I feel like I need to like get like a crash course on those like PvT matches to get a better idea of how he's looking and how those games went, for sure. But I do need to catch up. Meanwhile, we have our initial reaction Reaper Hellion diving past the army. Ooh, unable to. Gotta be zoned away. Here zoned away. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of Creator. Sorry, it's a little bit lost in thought here. But Phoenixes are amassing. Does open Stargate, and with this he will pick away at the army. There we go, does lift. Single Hellion makes it through. I mean, at least Nicaract is now aware of what's going on. And back at him instantly, he starts up the Viking, starts up the Cyclone. That's a big loss though. Again, what did Nicaract just lose? 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions for nothing for scouting. That's all he really got. He was able to scout, able to confirm what's coming his way, but that's an expensive scout here for Nicaract. Back at home, he's turtling up. Bunker is done. Marines are massing. As building up his Vikings and Cyclones, he's forced to react, forced to respond. And again, Stargate openers are a rare sight nowadays. In the current meta, they're rare sights, but hey, on a larger map like Maganatha, it's a little more viable. True, a little more viable here. For those that are curious, Phoenix openers, they used to be all the craze. They're ideal when it comes to shutting down drop play, like Widowmine drops, Raven-based openers, Banshee openers as well, containing your opponents, taking map control away from the Terran. The downside is that on these smaller maps, all-ins can thrive, right? These all-ins, these stim timings, these early tank pushes can punish a player that's opening Stargate, for sure. They can punish, but on a larger map, it is safer to open Stargate. Phoenix is ahead to the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down, getting 4 or 5 SCV kills, and you can see Nicaract just move out. He just ignores the Phoenixes moving out across the map. Again, there's that much less on the ground to defend. Here comes a recall. And Nickrat, we'll see if he can break through. The Immortal's still not out. Creator needs a little bit more time. Cyclones, they try to punish, but the Immortal is out. So yeah, the Immortal pops out, Creator holds. Creator, he holds, he defends. Third base is not being taken. And Nickrat, he did force the recall at least, but the Phoenixes is still being active. Moving out. There's no turrets back at home. More SCV kills, getting a mule as well. This is getting a bit out of hand. Oh, we'll lose a Phoenix. We'll lose 2 Phoenixes even. 3, oh my god. Some massive losses there for Creator. Nickrat, he's holding behind this Phoenix into Colossus from our Protoss. Into delayed Twilight Council. So the Colossus are amassing. Creator is setting up defensively back at home. Even getting a Void Ray? Okay. I mean, whatever he can get. Void Ray's on the way. Colossus as well. At this point, Nickrat, he's pretty all in. Like, he's pretty committed. He's lost so many SCVs. I say that, never mind. Does expand on location. He is committed, though. And we'll see if he gets on the Colossus. One more volley. One of my studs bring it down. Not bad. Takes down the Colossus. Yeah, Vikings, they land. They catch out the army. Creator caught out in the open. And Nickrat, can he keep pushing? He's got to keep going from here. I'm not quite able to, though. Force fields do slow him down. As the tank is exposed, it's going to be targeted down. The Bio Army is very low, very battered, very bruised. And Creator holds. Yeah, Creator, he holds on again. There was no sustain for the army, no medevacs, no support. Kill the Colossus, which is nice, but he will lose everything in the process. Escaping with 3 Marines and 2 Vikings. And Creator holds. It was a clutch hold, to be fair. Like, it was very intense. Was clutch. Creator, he holds, it defends. Now he counterattacks. He does focus on the Vikings. And the Colossus has right. The Colossus can reign supreme. There's no support, though. He sims. He dives. And there's no support. Colossus goes down. Massive pickoff. Keep going. And we're getting messy. We're getting very messy here. Again, classic. The initial hold was nice, but he didn't have to counterattack in such a way. Didn't have to move out, so did misjudge. We gotta calm down, calm down. As Creator, he will stay back home. He'll stay back home, claim his 4th base. So will Nickrat. Both players licking their wounds. Both players sustained a lot of losses. We're calming down. So we are building up. As the dust settles, Nickrat is taking up in towards Ghost, claiming his 3rd base. Creator claiming his 4th. Currently, the gas count is still quite low for Creator, so he can't afford a 2nd robo. So the splash damage here is still quite limited for the Protoss. There's only a handful of Colossus. There's no Storm, of course. It's not the most mobile army here from Creator, but Blink is now done. Nickrat going for drop play. Boosting into the main. You can go for the economy, you can go for the upgrades even. Stalkers do respond. And Creator should defend. Oh, does 9 plus 2. Not bad. Ooh, plus 2 goes down for a full medevac. Great does pull away. At the same time pushing towards the left hand side. I believe you have a reactive warp in. Despite that, 1, 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Just 2. Colossus has arrived. And Nickrat will back up. Oh, meanwhile, more drop play getting caught. Creator is holding on. He's holding on, he's keeping up. And he is moving out. I mean, Nick bled out a lot of units already. He's not quite ready for a head-on fight. Not anymore. Where the Vikings, again, have been stuck making medevacs. A couple of Vikings do trickle in. And Creator, here he can win the fight. Here he can overwhelm. Takes on the Vikings, goes for the warp in. Nice juggling here with the Colossus. Third Colossus has arrived. And Creator, he will break through. He had a rough start to the series. He was down 2-0, by the way. But he clawed his way back in. GG gets called. Creator does overwhelm. And Creator, he will take the series 3-2. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. Hi, GG, well played. A very intense back and forth. And even in this game, we had moments where either player was really overextending, whether it was Creator pushing out a little bit too far with his first Colossus, or even Nickrat as well, bleeding out his drop play. Both players had their moments. I would say a stronger start for Creator, of course, when it came to his Phoenix-based opener, but he was almost punished for it. Almost, but not quite. GG, well played. In the end, he was able to shut down those drops, snowball out of control, and overwhelm the ground army. GG. But a shout out to Nickrat, because he almost took this. Like, he almost took the series. It was very intense. Went all the way to game 5. I don't think many people expect that of Nickrat. We were praising Nickrat's TVP earlier for good reason. Even then, going to the ace match against Creator and almost bringing him down. Impressive play. GG, well played. With that, Creator does advance on to the grand finals, and the question becomes who will face off against him in those finals. Let's go. Let's catch up on the brackets. Let us switch our scenes over and figure out what's been going on and what has been happening. So Creator, he's the first to make it through, takes out Nickrat, takes out Rebellion. Meanwhile, in the lower portion of the bracket, we do have Krystianer versus Shameless facing off. Krystianer takes down Lunacy. Shameless takes down Jumy once again. Does take him down. And it looks like we have the lower semis ready for us. Looks like we have our PvP. And I believe it is going to be a fresh series. Okay, we're good to go. Un momento. Okay, here we go. Ooh, so from the top, again, Krystianer and Shameless, he took down Jumy, of course, in the finals of Sparkling Tunic Cup earlier today, but now likewise takes him down again in the quarterfinals, and now we have our lower semis, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. He's Shameless. Yeah. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the Polish Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PvP. And honestly, this could go either way. Typically, I would lean towards and favor Krystianer, but I know that Shameless has been popping off in this matchup. He just took down Jumy. He just won the Tunic Cup as well off of purely PvPs. Let's see if he can pop off again. We're settling into our semis. Also, a special shout out to Nickrat, just because he was the only non-Protoss in the quarterfinals. So he was waving that non-Protoss flag for as long as he could. Now purely PvP. Strap in. Strap in, baby. Let's go. I mean, that's typically how online tournaments go. But it's all good. We're here for it. Who amongst our remaining players has the best PvP? We're here to find out. Behind this, we do have our second pylon in the main base for Krystianer. Likewise, Shameless doing the same. So no proxy, no shenanigans, 2 gate openers all around. No one is cutting corners. No one is going into a gate expand or Nexus first or anything crazy like that. Everything looking standard. Likewise, as we settle into our semifinals, if you're in the chat, if you want to support this tournament, !Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Matcherino page. There are still, I believe, some coupon codes, some free coupon codes in the Matcherino page, so you can help boost the prize pool, or even donate yourself to the prize pool to help bolster these players, to help support these players competing in this month's tournament. So you can do so via Matcherino. Likewise, there's also a Ko-Fi account. Ko-Fi Coffee. There's also a hold on, I got you. That I will link in the chat as well. But Ko-Fi is, I want to say, similar to Patreon. It's very similar. It's a way to crowdfund for events, and I believe this is to help crowdfund the main events, the main league, I should say, for the Platinum StarCraft League. So you can do so via Ko-Fi. If you want to help support some grassroots StarCraft, you can do so via that link. As they are 73% of the way to their goal. Let's go. Beautiful. For now, we have our Stargate opener out of Krystianer going for the faster Stargates into Oracles, into Oracle Harass. Meanwhile, Shameless has yet to throw down his own take of choice. Okay. Again, Shameless instead going for a bit of a later expand, going for more Stalker Warpins instead. Oracle's making his way towards the main base. Shield Battery is done in time, and Shameless, he has the greater Stalker army. He's pushing. He's going for it. He's pushing towards the natural. Krystianer, he reacts with a wall of Shield Batteries. He's trying to react. He's trying to set up. He is in danger. Does go for the Guardian Shield. Shameless is going in. Does lock him in. There's that Force Field. But the Shield Battery does finish up in time. Oh, some wasted DPS. Here does the move command in. Wasted DPS here by Shameless across the map. 6 probes going to be going down. Brutal damage, and Krystianer, he holds. He holds. He shuts down the aggression. He commits across the map. Cripples the economy. And Krystianer takes a lead. Does take a lead again. Shameless. Unfortunately, he had target fire the Stalker that went up the ramp, so the army just followed the Stalker and move commanded in. Wasted a couple of volleys. Lost the Stalker. Lost 2 Stalkers even. And Krystianer so far, stronger start. Oh. Does take some hits. Rotates into the main 2 Oracles. They can one-shot probes. So far, 4 up to almost 5. Ooh, as 1 Oracle goes down. But hey, 1 Oracle for 10 probes, not bad. 10 worker kills. Krystianer does threaten the shade. Okay, just building up his forces, getting into Blink. Blink has begun. Blink is going to be slightly faster for Shameless. Bearing in mind that Krystianer did, of course, spend gas on Oracles. So slightly behind that tank. Catching out some Stalkers, not bad. Yeah, Shameless late to react, late to respond, losing 2 Stalkers already. Every unit counts, especially in a mirror matchup. As Krystianer pulls away, claims the 4th, sorry, claims the 3rd. Takes the 3rd base, he rotates, making sure there is no 3rd base for Shameless. Containing his opponent. Once again, Star steps in. Once again, there's no Blink. No Blink for either player. Star steps in, tanks well with those adepts. Krystianer just bullying back Shameless. Chasing those Stalkers. That F-Take shade into the mineral line and going for probe kills. 6, 7 probes going down and Shameless just being torn apart. Blink is now done. Shameless doing what he can. Does dive across the map, not bad. Catching out some reinforcements. Does try to. But Krystianer, he does punish. Yeah, GG gets called. Blink kicks in, and Krystianer, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Krystianer does take a lead in the series. Again, he was all over Shameless when it came to the Adept harass, when it came to the Oracle harass, when it came to the defense back at home. I did feel like Krystianer was one step ahead of Shameless, and a very comfortable game for Krystianer. GG. GG, very impressive here from our Polish Protoss, and we'll see if Shameless can recover coming into Game 2. Bearing in mind, best of 5. Best of 5, so we have plenty of games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. Game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. We go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. And we'll see who can take a lead, who can extend their lead in this series even. Again, Tokamak is a larger map in the map pool. Because it's so large, there are definitely some locations where you can try to hide some tech and hide a proxy. I wouldn't put it past these two players, especially after the last tournament that we saw from Shameless. He was hyper aggressive, hyper assertive. Let's go. Which I feel like was lacking in game 1. Was lacking, but here we go. Spawning in the right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. See if he can extend his lead. See if he can pop up. So we are fanning out. Shameless with the much earlier probe scout. But outside of that, everything looking normal. 2 gate openers. No one is being greedy. No one's being greedy. 2 gate opener to Cybercore from both sides so far. Mirrored builds. Mirrored builds, mirrored openers. Oh, let's get juiced up. I didn't notice any juice last game either. True. Este Shameless. Ooh, as Shameless, he's cutting corners. Okay, so we do have a double adept opener here out of Krystianer. Meanwhile, Shameless going for a Sentry Stalker. I assume it was just going to be Sentry Expand, but it does go for a safe opener instead. So something more aggressive out of Krystianer with double adept, designed to harass across the map. Yep, double adept into a faster Stargate, into a delayed CC. As Shameless, let's get the pylon block. So it's all about aggression, all about harassment here from Krystianer. Meanwhile, Shameless, back across the map, will eventually take his own expansion. Does go for his hallucination scouts. Adepts are revealed. Shameless will expand. Faster expansion. Krystianer is built up to 4 adepts. Hallucination confirms the Stargate. Confirms the Oracle. Shameless is in position, at least trying to be. Does miss the adepts. They will shade past. Try to make his way in so far. Does get a full wall up. Adepts, he could start, yeah, he could commit and does focus on the pylon, and the shield battery is going to go down. One more volley. Oof, does break through. Let's go on the cancel. Nice force field. Yeah, nice force field adepts, they are denied. There's still 2 adepts left. They can still one-shot probes. They can and they will. 1 probe so far. Oracle into the main. Does go for the stasis. Ooh, does go off. Gets one sentry. And so far, Shamelessly holds. And Shamelessly holds. Things are looking a little bit chaotic there for a moment, but he does defend his main. Bleeding out 1 probe. Yeah, 1 probe, 1 shield battery, 1 pylon. So far, solid defense. Did I speak too soon? Oh. Krystianer getting 1 more probe, but nothing major. And so far, the adepts didn't pay for themselves. The oracles also did not pay for themselves either. Not yet. Now, they're still alive, bear that in mind. Ooh, as he gets another probe. But they're still alive, they can still regenerate their energy, they can still go back in. Speaking of, does go for the stasis late reaction. Oh no! Shameless late reaction, stasis goes off, gets almost the entire mineral line. Aye, aye, aye. And I spoke too soon, saying that Krystianer, he had not paid for himself with these oracles. Now he's getting there. He's getting there. Now we're stuck on essentially a 1 base economy, less than a 1 base economy for a little bit longer. Krystianer going for the proxy Dark Shrine. And do you see anything here? Do you notice? Do you see what I see? No Stargate, no Robo, no Forge, 0 detection for Shameless. Aye, aye, aye. This is, I want to say, quite common in PvP without good reason. Like, there's no reason to get a Robo, right? There's no reason to get detection early on. You can be safe, of course, but it's not uncommon to go for a faster third even before the Robo. And if that's what Shameless is going for, the game may just end. It happens. It happens in PvP. We have casted hero and max packs just insta GG to this as well. Like at certain points in PvP, like you try to scout, you fail to realize what's going on, you don't really recognize what's happening, you cut some corners, you're not playing safe. Oracle does full. I mean, Shameless is going for his own Mass Blink Stalker setup here. Getting up to 5 gateways. That's a lot of gates on 2 bases. It's basically a 2 base all-in. So 2 base all-in out of Shameless. Meanwhile, here comes the Dark Templar. Protoss players, look away, Pappy, look away. As this is a bit of a PSA here. I mean, again, Shameless, he scouted everything he thought he needed to. And yep, there it is. 3rd base before Robo. So Greed here out of Shameless. Here we go. DT in each mineral line, and there is 0 detection. Probes are going down. Shameless, he's all in. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Again, it's something that happens from time to time in PvP, but just you can't deal with it. You cannot deal with those DTs. There was no Robo, no Stargate, no Forge, 0 forms of detection there. So GG well played. Krystianer, he's up 2-0. Is up 2-0. Now we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. We're getting into game 3. And again, as you mentioned, especially at this level of play, it's not uncommon for players to cut corners, to delay intentionally their Robos, to get a faster 3rd base. Here, Shameless, he was scouting across the map. Blink was in production, so he saw the Twilight Council, he saw it researching, he thought nothing of it when Krystianer was being cheeky. It's being cheeky. Now we're getting into game 3, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I mean, hey, Creator, he was down 2-0, right? He was down 2-0 previously. Creator, he also had a rocky start, but we might be able to, so ideally we can get a game 4, get a game 5. But let's go. The pressure's on our blue Protoss here. Is spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the player representing Team Little Fairy down heavily in the series. He has to fight back here and now to extend the series to have a chance at the finals. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Offside Esports, leading the series 2-0 with a very cheeky build last game by hiding that Dark Shrine and getting the instant GG out of his opponents. It is Krystianer. As he needs one more, he needs una más to claim the series. Does need una más. go behind this, we have our 2-gate opener out of Shameless, likewise 2-gate opener out of Krystianer. So far, everything's looking normal. Hello, but I do notice Shameless veer off to the right-hand side. What's going on? He does veer off to the right, he does take control of the Zelnaga, Krystianer coming in with the Probe Scout, and Shameless hiding his pylon. Let's go, the pylon has been thrown down, and Krystianer, he will confirm. He comes in with a probe, he will scout, he will count, and he will confirm, hold up, something is wrong. Where is your second pylon? Krystianer, his is in the mineral line, you can see it here. It's here next to his gas. He's got 2 pylons, and his opponent should have 2 as well. So you can see he does double check, he does fully check the main base, confirming that the pylon is missing. He knows the pylon is somewhere, and we can see 1 base all in, Proxy Robo. Now, the thing about PvP here is that Krystianer, he knows the pylon is missing. It could be a proxy robo, it could be a proxy Stargate, it could be a proxy gateway, or it could be nothing. It could just be a fake proxy pylon with a pylon thrown out without any kind of big commitment. So it's up to Krystianer to confirm, to try to piece together what's happening. So he does keep the probe alive. It's really important to do so, to be able to keep the probe alive and go for a rescout to check for an expansion. But he gets caught. Yeah, the probe gets caught out. Nice catch here from Shameless. Hunts down the worker. We can see Krystianer, he's expanding. Getting a safety shield battery. And Shameless is committing. Here comes hallucination. Yep, confirms. And confirms the 3rd pylon. Confirms no tech. No expansion. He knows. He knows an all-in is coming. So Krystianer, he's seen enough. He hasn't seen the proxy itself, but through the power of deduction, like he confirms that there must be tech somewhere. So he's getting ready here at his natural. Going for his own defensive robo. Given time, he'll have his own defensive immortals. Shameless picking up. Headed towards the main. Krystianer, he does spot the prism. Yeah, shield battery in the main base. Krystianer, he does rotate, he does respond. Probe's going to be going down. Losing while losing 2. Losing 2 workers so far. I mean, that's the real danger here. Ooh, going for the sentry as well. Let's go. That's the real danger here, is that you have to try to rotate between the bases. With that sentry, you can force with the ramp. You can go for the kill. You can go for the kill, go for the throat. Here comes the sentry. Here comes a force field. As he does unload, there's a force field. Does look down the army. He's going for the pylon. Yeah, toasts his pylon. No, he's going for the pylon. The pylon is about to go down. Depowers everything. Depowers the gateways. Depowers the main. Ooh, prism does fall. And do we have a recall? He does. He does recall into the main. And the army is trapped, and he forces the recall. Krystianer holds. Whew, Krystianer, he does hold on. Again, a clutch snipe on that war prison. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. Without that prison, there's no reinforcements, there's no extra sentries. With that, Krystianer is buying time. Building up his immortal count. Meanwhile, Shameless doubling down, going for what? Going for the bait, going for proxy disruptor. This is a Hail Mary play. It's very desperate. It can still work 100%, but it's a little bit more desperate here at a Shameless. Taking into disruptors. As there's no follow-up from this. That upset make the way to the main. Doesn't commit. Likewise, that's control of the Prism. Prism is rebuilt, of course. Ooh, that bit of miscontrol bleeds out 1 Stalker. Leaves out a Stalker. The army is quite low here for Shameless. There's some Krystianer ready with the wall off, the pylon. As the Prism does make its way towards the main. Once again, going for the Artosis pylon. The pylon's under fire. Adept stays shaded to the mineral line. Krystianer getting pulled apart. Takes down the pylon, goes to the mineral line. Pro's going to be falling as well. Takes down another pylon. So a shaky defense here from Krystianer. Oh. Does rotate to the natural instead. Nice force fields once again, locking Shameless away, at least trying to. Does try to. Here he kites back. Nice control from Krystianer, but the first Immortal is going to go down. Down to 2 Immortals. There are 2 Immortals left. Can he get on top of the Prism? He's trying to. Nova goes off. And Shameless, I think he might have just done it here. There's the NG overcharge. Ooh, takes out the Immortal. Okay, 1 Immortal does fall. Again, that should not have happened. Now going for the Prism. Stunner stepping forward. And Krystianer holds. Wow, Krystianer, he does hold on. There's almost nothing left here. 1 Disruptor, 1 Immortal, 1 War Prism. Nova does not go off. And GG. GG gets called. Krystianer, he holds, he defends, he survives. And he will make it to the grand finals 3-0 over Shameless. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Krystianer, he will claim the series, he will advance on. A very intense final game here from Shameless. Again, the initial proxy robo didn't quite work out. He had potential going into the main base, but a pivotal moment in favor of Krystianer was when he killed the first Prism. When he killed the first War Prism in the main, able to deny reinforcements, deny warpins, deny any micro out of his opponent, any juggling from his opponent. That's when he forced the recall, when he forced his opponent out of his own main. It was a big moment for Krystianer. And likewise, he was able to buy enough time for his own Immortal count, his own Immortals, his own Sentries. In the end, did survive. GG, well played, congratulations. Krystianer, he will claim the series. And now we have our 2 finalists. Now we have our grand 2 finalists here. Exclamation mark. And be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket has been stacked, of course. And we have our top 2 players. We have Creator. Creator, he took down Rebellion, took down Nickrak to make it to the finals. Krystianer took down Lunacy and Shameless to make it to the finals as well. Vetoes are underway, and we'll soon be jumping into that best of 5. Likewise, if you're in the chat, you want to support the tournament, exclamation mark Matcherino, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat. And you will get a link to the Matcherino page. As I believe there are still some free coupons. There's some free coupons here to help boost the prize pool of the tournament. And likewise, you can also support the event yourself by also donating if you wish. You don't need to by any means. The coupons are the least that we ask of. But if you wish, you can take it one step further, specifically for this tournament. Can do so. Otherwise, we're setting up. Go. Otherwise, we are setting up. And we will need a moment here. So we're going to take a moment. If you're in the chat, hope you enjoy the Brutal OSTs. Take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. When we return, when we come back, we will have the grand finals. We'll see you soon after a very short break. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, los grand finales here of the Platinum StarCraft 2 League June Edition 2025. It's been an intense broadcast so far, with some ups, with some downs, and now we have our best of five grand finals. We have our top 2 players here of the tournament, and sporting in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player of the red Protoss himself from the land of South Korea. It is Creator. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, I would favor Creator, for sure. Creator, he's the #1 seed of the tournament for a reason, but we have seen Creator falter today, in today's broadcasts, I should say, not just against Nickrat earlier, but even earlier than that in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Creator, he also did fall earlier in the broadcast. Just double checking. I believe he went down to Jumy, correct? Yeah, he went down to Jumy in a PvP as well. So, Creator, he has shown that he can bleed. He can bleed, and we may see a bit of an upset as well as a result. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat with your predictions. Best of luck as we jump into our best of 5. Also, as we settle into this, a big shout out in the chat. Big shout out to Wachiak, assuming Wachiak or Wasiak. Thank you so much, thank you so much for subscribing for 3 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it as always. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. And likewise, once again, as we settle into our series, into our best of 5, 2-gate opener here out of Krystianer. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Creator as well. Standard openers. As we're settling in, again, we do have the Matcherino page where you can help support the tournament via Matcherino with that coupon code. You can also bolster the prize pool as well if you wish. On top of that, if you want to help support the tournament series, you can do so via Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi is similar to Patreon. I saw someone asking in the chat about how much you have to commit and how much you have to commit to Ko-Fi. I believe it's whatever you want. There are certain tiers depending on what benefits you want as well, I believe. Different tiers of support for $1, for $5, for $6.90. Nice. So yeah, it does you can kind of pick and choose how you want to support. But yeah, it's it's optional. You can adjust it how you please, how you wish, to help support this league, to help support this tournament series. Bearing in mind, this is our first time covering this event. Previous editions were covered by other community casters, covered by Rotterdam, covered by Dave Testa as well. I'm sure they want to bring in some of the others like Steadfast or Chicken Man or some of the other community casters as well in StarCraft. And it's all working up. This is a monthly tournament, and these are all building up towards an end-of-year finals, end-of-year championship, if you will. We're getting there. Until then, we do have our initial double adept opener out of Krystianer. We have Stalker Sentry out of Creator. Creator going for a bit of a safer start. Krystianer going for a more aggressive one as he does shade past the army, does shade into the main, and so far Creator, he keeps up, he rolls off. Whew. Does wall off. Behind this, we do have the hallucination confirming the Stargate follow-up here from Krystianer. So Adept into Stargate into Oracle. Krystianer is being the aggressor. We saw something very similar in Krystianer's series versus Shameless, where he's being hyper-aggressive. His goal here is economic damage. So far, Creator, he's keeping up. So far, so good. As the Oracle does poke in. Is going to be forced back. Adept safe threat in the shade. Once again, they're zoned away. Krystianer, so far, so good. Sorry, Creator, meant to say so far so good, as he's been keeping up with the Adepts, keeping up with the Harass. Now nibbling away at the Adepts, getting some hull damage, nicely done. One Adept does go down. Meanwhile, commits to the shade, does get a couple of workers, likewise the Oracles, they go for the probes. So far, 3. 3 probe kills for 4 Adepts, not really worth it so far for Krystianer. Shades into the main, but there's a shield battery and no extra damage. So a stronger defense from Creator as Krystianer is forced out. Hello. Has a probe in position and does throw down the pylon. Okay. Hello. You have my attention. Do you have my attention? We have a 3rd gateway back at home. Blink is on the way, and we could set up for a 4th gateway. For a 2-base, 4-gate Blink setup. Yep, there it is. 4th gateway. We're committing. We're doubling down. Krystianer is being hyper aggressive on 2 bases. And Creator expands. And Creator, he instead he expands, I believe, on 2 gates. Yep. So 2-gate blink into an expansion, 4-gate blink at a Creator. So at a Krystianer. Krystianer, he has double the gateway counts, double the production. Ooh. As Krystianer, he is punished. He's punished. 1 Oracle does fall. Hallucination Scout gets eyes on the gateways. He sees 3 gates, and more importantly, Creator, he sees no expand. You can see he's confirming. No expansion, no nexus. That is a tell. Something is wrong here. It's like, hold up. I mean, he didn't check the linear 3rd, true. So Creator's, yeah, now he's checking. Now he's checking linear 3rd base. If he confirms there's no nexus, he needs shield batteries. We need to throw down a wall of shield batteries here at the natural and at the 3rd. Here comes that hallucination. You can see he fans out those oracles, does scout, does confirm. No base. No base, no 3rd expansion. Krystianer is moving out. We have a delayed 3rd from Krystianer. And the probe barely doesn't confirm. Does see the army though. Yeah, does spot the army. Creator, he responds. Krystianer warping in 4 stalkers at a time. Headed towards the natural. Creator, he's in position. He's somewhat ready. Somewhat. Sentries are exposed. There we go. 1, 2 sentries going down. Getting up to 3. Nice big offs. Takes down 3 sentries. Oracle into the main. Krystianer moving in. Oh. Does take an extra volley. Yeah, a bit of a rough engage, bit of a rough stuff for Krystianer, but he does have the greater concave, does have the greater army, and he's bullying back Creator. At the same time, Stasis going off, does get the mineral line. And mineral line gets caught out. Krystianer, he is trying to force his way through here. The Immortal's coming in from behind. Where are those reinforcements? We need those warp-ins. And looks like Krystianer, he barely has enough. Yeah, he does barely have enough. Takes out the Immortal. Takes out the final Stalkers. And Krystianer, he will start things off with a win. As he overwhelms the army. And again, the Stasis Trap. Oh, the double Stasis. Oh my god. The layered Stasis Trap in the main base. Creator, he's being torn apart. Being torn apart. The 3rd base has been broken. We can see him trying to make a final stand at the natural. 1 shield battery, 1 immortal. But Krystianer can just keep warping in. And behind this, he has a 3rd. He has a 3rd base. It is saturated. It dives on the immortal. Boys are being pulled, and GG gets called. Krystianer takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a bit of a late scout and a late realization for Creator. As we were pointing out, Krystianer, he was doubling down going into 4-gate blink stalker, and it took Creator quite some time to confirm just how much danger he was in. We spoke specifically about the 2nd hallucination that eventually saw the lack of 3rd base at the linear expansion. But it took a long time to confirm, it took a long time to scout. As a result, we saw not really a solid defensive setup there with shield batteries. Also, the Stasis Traps, of course. Oh! Also the Stasis Traps. So I was just a little bit engrossed. I'm so used to like just trying to discuss or summarize the game as well, but I'm also making the lobby, so I do apologize. Here we go. Getting into game 2. But yeah, of course, the Stasis Trap, right? The Stasis Trap to the main base, just covering the mineral line time and time again, also hindering the reinforcements, hindering the economy, hindering the warp-ins and the shield batteries, any kind of defensive setup. So a lot going wrong there for Creator, but we'll see if he can bounce back. As that was a very intense game 1, and here we go, spawning in the bottom hand corner of ley lines. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, the South Korean Protoss, down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. It is a Creator. We go. And again, I do want to give credit to Creator because if you remember, the early game was in favor of Creator. If you remember, when I say early game, I'm referring to the Adept Harass and the Oracle Harass. Initially, didn't really get much done. I want to say he killed maybe 2 probes, like 2 probes at most for 4 Adepts. Like it was a shaky start for Krystianer, which you could argue is why he followed it up with 4-gate blink, right? He followed it up with something much more committed because there was a lot of pressure on Krystianer to make up for his otherwise lukewarm harass at the start of the game. Otherwise failed aggression at the start of the game. So he followed it up with 4-gate blink, and he did catch Creator with what? The pants were down, but he did catch him with his pants down, did take the first game, but now we're settling into game 2, and I'm sure Creator is going to be a little more adept when it comes to scouting, a little more on point. Oh, hello. Double gate opener here to Krystianer. Do you see what I see? We have a gate cyber expand. Greedier start from Creator, but Krystianer, he scouts. We should be responding with a 1-base all in. He saw the single gateway, he saw the attempted cyber core. We're setting up with a pylon, we're going for a 1-base all in. So basically what's occurring here is that Creator is cutting corners. Creator is being greedy. He's going for a gateway into a cybercore, so he's skipping his second gateway and he's going for a faster nexus. This is a greedy build here from Creator. He does have a second gas, so he can go for tech before expand, but Krystianer, he scouted. Remember, he scouted earlier, so his response is to punish the greed. Oh, not with a 1-base all-in though, with a proxy Stargate. Now, checking Creator's vision, I believe he scouted. Yeah, he saw the pylon was missing, so he knows that the proxy. He knows there's a proxy somewhere. There's the faster expansion. He does go for the Zealot first. He's looking for the proxy, and he finds it. Wow, he does find the pylon, and he finds a Stargate. So now he knows he's safe. What does a proxy Stargate mean? It means only Oracle Harass. It is not an all-in. So Creator, he can respond with a shield battery. Like a shield battery in the main base, a couple of defensive stalkers. Even here, he does focus on the pylon, and he is shutting down Krystianer so hard. Again, scouting was paramount. Pylon goes down. The Stargate gets depowered. From here, Creator can just bully back the Adepts. We'll lose 1 Zealot. And the Stargate will eventually be repowered, but this is a big delay on the Oracle. And again, by the time the Oracle arrives, Creator, he's ready. Here comes the shield battery. Shield battery is on the way. There's a much later expand out of Krystianer. As Creator, his own base is almost done. It's almost done at this point. Now, Krystianer, he isn't out of this yet. He does have 4 Adepts to work with. He has 4 Adepts and the 1 Oracle, so he can still achieve some damage, and he still shades into the bases, denies mining at least. Yes, so deny mining as long as he can. Ooh, proxy gateway here from Creator. Uh-oh. I mean, Creator, he knows he's ahead. He knows he's in a better position. He deflects the Oracle into the main. Adepts, they threaten a shade, but so far there's a full wall. Oh, does shade into the natural. Probes are going to be going down. Okay. It's 1, gets up to 2. Up to 1, never mind. Yeah, some messy target firing out of Krystianer. Brutal force fields. Adept saying shaded into the main. Okay, much better. Gets up to 4 probes. 4 workers go down. This is nice damage. Now we're out getting up to a second Oracle, but I'm still concerned about the counterattack. As Krystianer, he's lacking a ground army. And meanwhile, 2 Oracles, they can one-shot probes. 1, 2, 3, up to, that's up to 10 probe kills. Oh my god. 10 workers going down. Again, this is in addition to the Adept Harass as well. Nice damage, but here comes the army. Here comes the rally across the map, rallying out everything. The Stalkers, the Sentries. Creator, he does have a massive ground army, and Krystianer, he's not ready for this. Yeah, no shield batteries. Boys are being pulled. Brutal force field, locking him down. Nice control out of Creator. And Creator, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm this. He will punish his opponent at the same time. Oracle across the map. Probes are going down. But it may not matter. As Creator, he will overwhelm the ground army. Down to 2 Stalkers, down to nothing. GG gets called. Creator, he breaks the natural. He breaks across the map. And Creator ties us up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We are tied up 1-1, and with that, we have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth as we're now getting into game number 3. Looking to determine who will take a lead in the series, Creator or Krystianer. Stepping into the lobby. Let's go. Getting into game 3, winding it back when it comes to the final game. When it comes to that last game, I should emphasize, again, Krystianer, he saw the greed of Creator. He attempted to respond with his own proxy, went for a proxy Stargate, but he got scattered. He got scattered early on. We saw the Creator, he was able to delay, able to depower, able to gain map control. We saw that Krystianer was hyper-aggressive with Adepts after that because he had to do some kind of damage, and he was able to kill some workers towards the end, but unfortunately, because of the economic lead that Creator had, he was able to build up a massive Stalker and Sentry ground army, and he knew that he would just counterattack. He knew that he would just walk across the map and there would be nothing to stop him. GG. And now we're getting into game 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal. We have the blue Polish player. We have the blue Protoss player representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. Look, it's almost 5 a.m. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing himself, currently teamless, but does tie the series up. It is a Creator. Let's go. Does tie things up. We have a series, we have a back and forth. As we have our probe scouts across the map. This time, 2-gate opener out of Creator. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Krystianer. Now there's nothing prompting Krystianer to go for a proxy pylon. Remember, last game, the only reason why Krystianer went for the proxy was because he saw the greedy build out of Creator. This time, standard opener, standard build, so there's nothing prompting him to do so. So our probes are poking in. Cheeky being about to create, out of Krystianer, he does wall Creator in. Does wall him in. Behind this, we will soon expand, at least fight for the expansion. As no one wants to go for their tech first. Meanwhile, a big shout to Sian in the chat, to Cyan. Obrigado. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Bienvenidos, papi. Bienvenidos. Fala galera. Fala galera. Thank you so much. As welcome to los Gran Finales, papi. Los Gran Finales here of the Platinum StarCraft League June 2025 edition. Bienvenidos. As Creator gets his natural. He does get his base up and running. Krystianer should soon do the same. We go. What is this? What is this bracket? This is StarCraft in its purest form. What do you mean? No. Not like this. As for now, we do have a Creator expanding, taking his own natural. Likewise, so does Krystianer. Krystianer does move out across the map. He's on an equivalent to gateway count here. We'll see what he can get done as he does poke his way in. Creator has a high ground. So far, does deflect. Does deflect. Krystianer does have a proxy pylon. He can reinforce. Setting up in the center. There it is. There are the reinforcements. We're bringing 2 more depths. And we'll see if we can get past the army. We'll see if we can get into the mineral line. As Krystianer does threaten. Oh, hello. As he's opening up Twilight Council into what looks to be a proxy Dark Shrine. Cheeky moves out of Krystianer. Very cheeky. I mean, hey, we saw this, we mentioned this against Shameless, of course, but it is not uncommon to skip or delay your robo quite heavily in this matchup to cut corners, to get a faster third base. And here it is, Dark Shrine is on the way. And we'll see if Creator does expand before getting his Robo. If so, that can cost him the game. That can be it then and there. As Krystianer does, Red and dive, does go into the shade, gets one. One probe kill, but a miss target firing, gets a second probe towards the end. Gets up to two, does not get a third. And Creator, he holds. Does hold, does defend. With that, he has gained control of his natural. He's moving out to expand. And as we mentioned, he's going for a Nexus before Robo. Now, he does have a Forge on the way, but that is not typically a way to deal with DTs. Reactive and defensive cannons are ambitious, to say the least, to deal with Dark Templar. And again, Creator just doesn't know. He's moving out with his scouts. He does move in. He will scout the main base. He sees the Twilight Council, sees it researching, sees the Gateway Explosion as well. Now we have the Robo on the way. And here come the Dark Templar. Now again, because this Robo is so late, the DTs, they will get some damage done. They might even get on top of the Robo. We'll see as Creator comes in for the scout. He does confirm. Yeah, he gets eyes on the proxy, and he may have seen the Shimmer. May have seen it in time. DTs, they waddle in. They go straight for the expansion. Going for the third instead, not going for the mineral line. Remember, there is 0 detection right now. He could have gone for some more damage. I mean, regardless, it's getting damage nonetheless. There we go, does force a cancel. We'll cancel the third. And Krystianer just being a little bit more tame in his approach here. Does pull away, does back off, and does take his own third. So we're calming down. Both players are expanding. Detection is now available, and the game will continue. Game will continue here. That's Krystianer moving out. He is aware of the position of the main army. So he's avoiding these stalkers. He's going for the third base. Uh-oh. Creator out of position. Creator's out of position. He's racing on over. He's racing back home. Krystianer, he's moving in. He wants that third. Can he force another cancel? No shot. Gets a couple of volleys off. The base is getting low. Yeah, nice force fields. He locks away the army. He zones him back. And he's going for the base, and he will force a cancel. Massive pickup. As Creator just cannot expand at the same time, DTs, they waddle into the bases. Probes are going to be going down left and right. The delayed DT harass. Ay. No cannons. No cannons, no detection. 18, 19 probe kills. And Krystianer, he's running away with this. He's running away with this game. At the same time, there's a counterattack. He does recall back home. Krystianer, he defends. He attacks. He kills 21 probes. And he denies the third base. Ay. There's almost nothing left. There's nothing here. We're down to 33 workers. The economy has been crippled. And Krystianer just has to calm down. Just has to calm down, build up his economy, take up, get into charge, +1, Temple Archives. Krystianer, he does not have to fight. Does not have to engage. Go the force field, slowing down his opponents. Creator's all in. At this point, Creator's all in. And Krystianer, he would benefit from shield batteries, from just setting up defensively. Here come the warpins. Charge is not yet done. Almost. And Creator, he has to go. He has to send it. It's his only chance. But it's not easy. It's not going to be easy here. As Krystianer charge is going to finish up in 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 seconds away. Krystianer going to be collapsing in. Here come extra warpins. Stalkers are pinned back. Nice force fields. Celts are going down. And Creator is trading quite well, actually. Yeah, Creator is trading well. He has that one immortal on the back line. Krystianer, he has to back off. He has to back off. He has to preserve his army. He has to preserve his stalkers. Brutal blink. Yeah, Krystianer, he needs to pull away. He needs those warpins. As it's still very close. Yeah, Zelda going down. And he bleeds out so many stalkers. Again, Krystianer, he did engage a little bit too long there. He needs a little bit more time. I wouldn't be opposed to him pull the boys. Remember, he's up 20 probes. He can pull the boys if he needs to. For now, he kites back. He kites back, takes down the Immortal. That was the backbone of the army. Whew, and without the Immortal, Krystianer, he can move in. Yeah, he can move in. He can collapse on the army. It's still very tense. Very tense as the pylon. Ooh, the pylon goes down, denies the warp in. Yeah, but finally, Krystianer, he has enough. Yeah, he has enough charge lots. He overwhelms the ground army. It was close. Creator, he was gaining ground with the Immortal, but once it went down, I mean, that was almost it. That was almost it then and there. When the Immortal fell. Krystianer's banking up gas. He's been warping in nothing but zealots. Nothing but. And just collapsing in the army. That's all he needs. And with that, Krystianer, he will take a lead in the series. Takes down the War Prism. Denies any warp ins. Remember, behind there's no third. There's no third expansion. Creator, he was completely all in. And he's running out of army. Running out of Stalkers. Again, he was just caught completely out of position earlier. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he will take a 2-1 lead in the series. Whew, GG. He will take a lead. And now we're getting into game number 4. We're getting into game 4 here. And this might be the final game of the tournament. This might be it. Here we go. Once again, Krystianer, he does take a lead. Up next, we're going to be loading into Pylon. Pylon is a much smaller map in the map pool. Oh. Is a much smaller map. And again, aggression can be more favored here as well. Now we can... Sorry, I was just making the lobby. I was a little bit distracted. But referring to the last game as well, it was a bold move from Krystianer to go into Dark Templar. Initially, he got shut down. Initially, the DTs, I'm going to say shut down, did get quite a bit of damage. He did deny the third base, which was impressive. Not just that, if you remember, he denied the third, and then he rotated. He did take note of Creator's army position. Creator, he rotated everything to the right-hand side to deal with the proxy, so he left his own backup third vulnerable. And we saw Creator respond. He rotated over, he force fielded his army off, was able to deny the third base for a second time, and in the process also slip in with those Dark Templar. And it was on Creator to not be ready for the DT follow-up. He assumed that, okay, now that they had been revealed, like that was it when it came to Dark Templar harass, but no, that was not it. It was not over. And from there we saw that Creator, he was torn apart. He was torn apart by the Dark Templar. He was forced all in. He almost broke through with the all in. Like, he had a terrifying army. He was out trading his opponent. He was gaining ground, but only for so long. And now we're getting into game number 4, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Offside Esports, leading the series 2-1. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Red Protoss, the South Korean Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Creator. Here we go. 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Creator. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Krystianer. 2-gate openers all around. Catching up with the chats. Is StarCraft World Cup today? StarCraft World Cup is this week. It is this week. As stated in the chat, it is on Tuesday. So we have a couple of days before the EWC. 2 days, really. 2 days away. Ay. It's a big week for StarCraft. It's EWC and then bam, FEL, Fusion Esports League right after that as well. So back to back. Of course, we're going to be doing our best to cover the EWC here on the channel. We'll be here live every single day. It's going to be fun, I'm sure. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. I do still have a little bit of prep work to do tomorrow. I mentioned this earlier, but I do have to catch up on some RSL VODs. Just because I do want to see the form of certain players that did compete during the RSL. But until then, we have double adept. We have a double adept opener out of creator, going for a third and fourth adept as well. Okay, he's doubling down and building up that adept count. Krystianer across the map, he does go for a 2-gate opener into a faster nexus, into a faster expansion, opening up with a single unit. So very greedy setup here from Krystianer, going into triple sentry. With this, he can scout, but he doesn't really have much map presence. Doesn't have any map presence whatsoever. So a greedier build here by Krystianer, more aggressive from Creator. Ooh, as he's not stopping, he's getting up to even more adepts. Jesus. From 4 up to 6. So we have 6 adepts moving out. Robo behind this. So building up the adept count. Hallucination does confirm at least some adepts alongside the Robo. With that Robo, we can get into Immortal production. So waiting for more adepts. We spoke earlier about the short resistance by ground on Pylon, and that's kind of what we're making use of as well. As here we go, we have our 6 adepts coming together. We have another wave behind this, getting up to 8 adepts. Now, with 8 adepts, what can you achieve? Well, typically against adept harass in this matchup, what do? You wall off with a pylon, you wall off with the shield battery, but with this many adepts, you can commit to the shade and you can focus down that building. You can focus down the building and force your way in. Speaking of, here comes a shade. Ash Force Fields looking down some of the adepts. One adept does go down, another adept gets caught, he does commit to the shade, again he does force his way into the main. Yeah, he breaks down that front door, does force his way in. Probes are going to be falling, and how many exactly is Krystianer trying to keep up, trying to hold on. Workers are being targeted, and again, that's a lot of adepts. 10, 11, 12 probe kills. GG gets called. That is game-ending damage. And a Creator, he will tie things up. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game here, very intense build out of Creator, just doubling down, going up to 8 adepts. That was an insane adept count, and with that, he was able to bust into the base and end the game. And straight up end the game then and there. Oh. Here we go. As we're getting into the ace match here. Winding it back, for those that are curious, how do you stop that kind of build? One, you do need to see it ahead of time. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a later scout from Krystianer. He saw some adepts, but he didn't see the amount of commitment that Creator had gone into those adepts. If you see them ahead of time, then ideally you do want to try to set up your wall to wall off, not with a pylon, not with a shield battery, but with a gateway. So you'll have a much more robust wall that can survive additional adepts and can survive that kind of like burst damage from adepts as well, to wall up, to wall off. Likewise, you can try to respond with your own adepts to try to shade as well, to try to block off that wall, which can be a little bit more risky. It's very much so timing based. Most players, they just wall up. They just wall up with a gateway. But again, it came down to our blue Protoss not being able to recognize how much danger he was in. But here we go, we're getting to our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have our blue Polish Protoss player representing Offside Esports being forced into the ace match. But we've made it to game 5, the final game of the tournament. Who will be our champion? In the bottom left, we have for Offside Esports, Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Fighting back from the brink. It's been a back and forth and shaky series so far, but he's made it here to the ace match. And can he go the distance? It is a Creator. Yeah, again, and it was a risk. It was a bit of a gamble for Creator to just double down and just go into Mass Adept. Was able to pull it up. But I'll be honest, I don't expect to see that again. Like, typically at this level of play, when you do reveal a build like that, you don't want to rely on it, right? You don't want to rely on DTs, which you already saw once in this series. You don't want to rely on Mass Adepts like we saw once in this series at a Creator. Hello. As Krystianer, he will hide his second pylon. Okay. Bold move. We can see Creator is scouting. Creator is scouting, is searching for the pylon. We know where it is. It is a fake proxy pylon. Creators is back at home. And ideally, Krystianer, he wants to force an overreaction, right? He wants to force a reaction, force a response. Third pylon on the low ground. Does open Stalker Sentry. And we can see Creator does open Stargate before Nexus. And does throw in the pylon block. Nicely done. Just in case Krystianer tried to expand. There's that pylon. As we have additional sentries on the way, there we go, both players do expand. And for the most part, Creator, he's aware. He's about to confirm, he pokes in. There we go, scouts the Nexus, now he knows. He knows he's safe and sound, even punishing the pylon. Gets a couple of shots in. Oracle's on the way. I believe Krystianer is yet to confirm, but he soon will get eyes on the tech, and will soon be aware that the Oracle's coming. So Krystianer now picks in. Confirms the Stargate, confirms the Oracle. Oracle's on the way. And back at him, Krystianer, he has set up. He's got 3 sentries in the main base. He's got a Stalker in between. As he does transfer over. Oh. Creator, I mean, he knows he got scattered, setting up stasis traps in the center of the map. Okay. Does set them up ahead of time. Yeah, more stasis traps on the way. Both players working towards Blink. And Krystianer has a slight economic edge over his opponent. He has a slight worker lead. Ooh, and Krystianer, he rushes into a third. Okay, very fast third base here to Krystianer off of 2 gates. So 2 gate Blink into third. Ay, ay, ay. And currently, Creator, he is not aware.
I'm here in the shadow.
At least currently. Oh, there you go, does poke in. Does scout, does confirm, and now he's aware of how greedy his opponent's being. He responds with his own third. Does respond. Goes on his own third base. But again, Creator, he's slightly behind. Economically. He's 1 step behind when it comes to his worker count, 1 step behind when it comes to his third base. Blink is about to kick in, and here comes Creator. And what Creator does have working his way is all these stasis traps, right? He has these traps that are laid out that they can try to bait Krystianer into. Takes down the shield battery. Oracle into the main. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 probes. Takes down 3. And again, Creator, ideally, he does want to try to bait Krystianer to follow him. Not quite able to, though. Getting into much faster forge, much faster upgrades. +1 is on the way. Getting into +1. Creator's looking for another way in. He is spotted. Oh, who spot 2 though? Nice pickup. Takes down the Observer. We have Krystianer moving out with some Adept Harass. We have a gateway explosion from Krystianer as well. I mean, he's been on a low gateway count this entire time. So just building up into a more longer game. And for the first time this series, I want to say we have a pretty passive setup here. Like, for the first time this series, we have a fourth. Fourth base on the way for Krystianer. He does get into the mid run, does get a couple of worker kills, but fourth base for Creator as well. Okay. So, I mean, it's been a very intense series. There's been a lot of aggression. A lot of proxies. A lot of committed builds, DTs, mass adepts. We're calming down in the ace match. We've got it out of our system. Nice damage nonetheless here from Krystianer. Gets 4 workers. When it comes to our tech of choice, both players are working towards, I mean, they should be. We have at least Creator working towards Charge, working towards the Temple of Archives. You can see the Archives here behind the Natural, working towards Archon production. Meanwhile, Krystianer, interestingly enough, he doesn't. He has +1, he has Blink, but no Temple Archives, no Charge. He's going pure Blink Stalker. Just mass Blink Stalker out of Krystianer. He's got the 1 slow lot or a couple of slow lots. Ooh, Stasis Trap does go off. We spoke about that. We have traps laid out all over the place. Another one behind this. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Creator. Like, I wanna favor Creator's army composition. Meanwhile, I believe Krystianer, he wanted more Zealots. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. I'm pretty sure he forgot Charge, and it's not intentional. Yeah, he forgot Charge. The slow lots, no, he can't escape. They're slow. Yeah, Charge just now begins. Oh yeah, brutal mistake here. A brutal oversight from Krystianer. He's warping in more Zealots. Prism goes down, denies the warp in. Where was Charge, Papi? Yeah, he's getting caught out. Getting caught out completely. Brutal force fields. As Creator, he collapses on the army, blinks on forward, chases him down. I thought it was intentional. I was like, yo, he's crazy. But then I noticed there were a couple of Zealots in the mix. And then GG. GG gets called. A brutal oversight there, and Creator, he will run away with it. He will take the series 3-2, becoming this month's Platinum StarCraft League champion for the month of June. GG. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Creator as he will claim the series. My condolences to Krystianer. He had a really strong performance. To make it to the ace match against Creator is no easy feat. In general here, a shout out to tonight's competitors. I should also emphasize the event is the June edition. You might be thinking, hold up, June? Is this like replays or something? No, not at all. But the June edition was postponed because of Home Story Cup, right? We had Home Story Cup, we had the EWC qualifiers, we had Star as Agora. Like, there was a really intense June was intense. There was just so much StarCraft going on. There was everyone was traveling traveling to Germany, traveling and focusing on other tournaments, on the qualifiers of EWC. There was a lot going on, so the June edition was postponed to now, and we're catching up on these tournaments, on these editions. And I believe July is going to be the July edition is going to be right around the corner as well. But with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Creator, and my condolences to Krystianer. My condolences to Krystianer. Again, he played well for himself. Winding it back, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Let us switch on over and catch up on the bracket. As you can see here, Creator, he took down Rebellion, took down Nickrak, took down Krystianer in those finals. But again, we'll soon get the updates on Challenge. But Nickrak, he was up 2-0. There's a world out there where instead of Creator versus Krystianer, it's Nickrak versus Krystianer instead. Like, I don't want to gloss over Nickrak because Nickrak had a really strong showing as well, where he almost won that series. He had a very clutch back and forth in those semis. Krystianer was looking a little more dominant in the lead up to the finals. He 2-0'd Lunacy, he 3-0'd Shameless in the finals, did go down to Creator, but again was also very close, also very back and forth as well. So GG. GG, well played to all of our competitors here tonight, and best of luck to not just these competitors but also to the event organizers as well, those working behind the scenes at Platinum Heroes and Platinum Esports as well for the next tournament. I did just mention that the July edition is right around the corner. Again, just because June had to be postponed so much, July is going to be on the 28th. The 28th of July is going to be the next monthly tournament, so the next Platinum StarCraft League tournament is the 28th of July, so next week. next week. Now, as I mentioned before, typically they are bringing together some different community casters and community coverage. As I mentioned before, Dave Testa, he was casting one of these. Rotterdam was casting as well, and I'm sure they're going to do their best to bring on, you know, I don't know, like Chicken Man or Wardy or Steadfast as well, or some of the other casters out there to help cover these events and kind of bring everything together here. So again, we don't regularly cover this tournament, but we do our best to, you know, cover what we can. And of course, again, those at Platinum Esports and Platinum Heroes, they reached out. We're more than happy to jump on, more than happy to cast, more than happy to cover. When it comes to the end of year events, I'm sure that many of the casters are going to be brought together for that event as well. So look forward to it. Do look forward to it towards the end of the year. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate the support. Late June, yes, late June edition. It's fine, it's fine. Shout out to Cynical, of course, for updating the Wikipedia page. And again, if you want to help support this tournament series, you can do so via Ko-Fi. Once again, I will give a link in the chat. If you are unfamiliar, Ko-Fi or Coffee, don't know how it's pronounced, I'll be honest. But it's kind of like Patreon. It's very similar to Patreon, where you can support a tournament, and you can support via either a one-time donation, a one-time tip, or a one-time contribution, or for a monthly kind of subscription, monthly membership. And again, this is designed to fund the event on a regular basis, and there is currently a $3,000 goal, 75% already accumulated for the event itself on Ko-Fi, so you can help support them via Ko-Fi. Otherwise, check out the Matcherino page, !Matcherino in the chat, to be able to support this specific edition, this specific tournament. So GG, well played. And again, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great night of StarCraft. It was a very intense broadcast, just because we had a back-to-back cast of Tunic Up into the Platinum StarCraft League as well. And if you want some more StarCraft, if you enjoyed the casting, if you want some more here on the CranKy Ducklings, bam! You can see our weekly schedule. You can see Monday morning. It is 5 a.m. It's 5 de la mañana, papi. It's 5 a.m. in the morning here in Australia, and we just wrapped up with the Platinum StarCraft League, of course. We just wrapped up. Typically, you can see Monday evening is open. The Monday evening is open. Typically, we have the Wardy TV Monday there, and that's usually when we cast Wardy TV Monday. But this week, there is no Wardy TV Monday. Wardy is traveling. A lot of casters are traveling over to EWC, so they are not. So this week, there won't be a Wardy TV Monday. Technically, we could slot in or slide in another event there, another cast, but I do want to take it easy because, as you can see, this week is Esports World Cup. So I do want to take it easy, rest my voice, you know, rest up and try to get some sleep and get some food and be at 100% for the Esports World Cup. It is going to be a 4-day event, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It is a bit of a shame it doesn't cover the weekend, right? It's like, I'm sure a lot of people are, you know, going to be spending their days, you know, working or studying or at school, at work, doing other things. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to catch up on EWC because it's during the week instead. So that is a shame, 100%. It is a bit of a shame. For those that are curious why it's during the week, is because the Esports World Cup, it features a lot of esports, and that's just how the scheduling has worked out. Like, I believe Esports World Cup has been running non-stop almost the entire month. I say month, like I think for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe around like 1 to 2 weeks so far, and they've been running non-stop almost every single day, from esport to esport to esport to esport. So this is just how the schedule is lined up for StarCraft. It is a bit of a shame. Ideally, you know, weekend is ideal, so it's a bit of a shame, but regardless, it's going to be a big and major and amazing event. I'm sure the best of the best players in the world are going to be a part of the Esports World Cup. And again, we're going to be casting it here on the channel. I say casting it, we're going to be co-streaming. Most likely, we're going to be provided a clean feed stream, which also features the casters and their audio. So we're going to have more of like a viewer party kind of experience, where we can add our own commentary on top of said casters' commentary whenever we can, and enjoy the show together. Likewise, tentatively, you can see Pegasaur Cup on Wednesday, I say tentatively. I think the organizer as well, Stegosaurus, he doesn't know if it's going to be there. Like, he's like, we'll play it by ear. He's like, we might host it, we might not. Bearing in mind that Pig is also traveling, right? Like, all the big casters. Pig is traveling for EWC. Rotterdam, alongside Wardy, States, Zombie Grub, Fear Dragon, The Muslim. Like, they're all traveling. They're all Steadfast. They're all traveling. They're all heading over to that main event. Because of that, there might not be a tournament. If there is, we'll be there. Like, wait, we aren't traveling. So if there is going to be an event, if there's going to be a Pigasaur Cup, then we'll cast it. Otherwise, we'll be focusing on the Esports World Cup. Likewise, right after the Esports World Cup, bam, we have Master Swan Open on Saturday. And we have the Fusion Esports League on Sunday. For those that are unaware, the Fusion Esports League, that is, of course, the FEL, the Fusion Esports League, that is a big offline tournament. That is a... I want to say like a $10,000 prize pool tournament, offline event happening in Poland. Clem is going to be there, Rainer's going to be there, Lambo's going to be there, Ubu Thermal, alongside all the qualified players from the qualifiers. So players like SOS, invited players like Spirit and a Laser. So I think Spirit made it through the qualifier, but a Laser, Geralt, Krystianer. We have the best players in Poland, and of course some big international invites as well, coming together for one big offline event in the Fusion, or in Poland. I was a little bit concerned just because it's so close to EWC, but I'm impressed that both Clem and Rainer and Lambo are going to be traveling to Riyadh for EWC, and then bam, straight to Poland. Straight to Poland, more StarCraft. Jesus. So again, those players are going to be maybe a little bit fatigued, maybe not, but yeah, the StarCraft doesn't end for them. Does not end. It's a bummer, especially with the time difference, not going to be able to catch like any of it. I'm sure that you'll be able to catch at least some of it, just because this time slot, it starts at 7 p.m. KST. I believe that is the morning, relative morning in Europe, and it's like really. I think this is maybe the worst for the Americas, because I think that's around like 3 a.m. 4 a.m. in the Americas, but I want to say that each broadcast is going to be like 10 hours, like 10-hour broadcast. So I do think that if you're in Europe, you should be able to watch some of it. If you come back in the afternoons, like in the afternoons, you'll be able to catch the tail end of it. If you're in Australia or in the Southern Hemisphere, like Southeast Asia or Korea, you'll be able to tune in the evenings, the beginning of it, just the beginning. So Europe will be the end of it. I want to say that, yeah, if you're in the Americas, this is probably the worst time slot for EWC, just because it starts really early and it ends like coming in towards like the end of like the workday, right? Live in California, yeah, like 100%. Like I do feel bad, not just for those in, not just those in the US, but in Americas, right? So like North America, Latino America as well. Like we got a lot of Latin American fans, a lot of Latin American viewers, and they're going to be negatively impacted as well. So that is going to be a little bit rough. But regardless, if you want to check out the VODs, as was stated earlier, we do stream on YouTube. So VODs are available on YouTube immediately. We stream on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, and on Kick as well. So we stream on all the platforms. And again, VODs are all on YouTube immediately. VODs are no longer being supported on Twitch. So if you miss out on something live, if you want to check out the VODs, then YouTube is the place to be. YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. With that, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Hope you had a great time. I need to rest my voice back. It's cold, man. It's cold. I need to hear myself. But thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. And with that, we're going to be heading off. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. Also, if you wish, you can... hold on. Got you covered. Yeah. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. You can follow us on all the socials. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings, Mastodon, Blue Sky, all things CranKy Ducklings. So you can follow us whenever we go live. Again, we cast StarCraft, as you can see here, on a daily basis. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast. We have all the content, we have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. There's not that many people streaming at the moment, just because, of course, everyone's traveling. We'll find someone to raid, so give them some love, give them some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, baby, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.